Welcome back. This is Akinar here with more blueprints. I am so excited to start day 40. Let's do it. Holy shit, I have not been able to hardly wait to get back to this game because day 39, if you missed it, go check it out right now because holy crap, there were many amazing things that happened. And let's see. I can't recap it all, but the biggest things that happened, we got our hands on a throne room blueprint. We finally have that added to our draft pool as of today. We also unlocked a satellite, and I guess you could do both of those things, right? If you get all three microchips, you can unlock the satellite as well as the throne room blueprint. Let's grab our allowance. We also yes, we smashed the entrance hall has a repair bill that has been generated. So we'll see if any other rooms in the house end up having a similar set of repairs that need to be done in the future. We also, what was the other big thing that happened? We now have a vault key. The crazy set of stars that had to align for certain things to happen. We got our hands on a knight's shield early in the day, and that allowed me to be bold enough to draft a lost and found, and just be lucky enough drafting that lost and found to get a vault key, which is in our coat check. So we need to get the coat check and we need to get a vault. So we also got the blessing of the monk, and we ended our day in the foundation, which means our outer room should have the foundation as one of its options today. And it sure enough does. There it is. I had wondered a little bit. Sure enough, it's here. It works. At least in the case of the foundation. I had wondered, would we ever need to like rotate this? Like I was thinking to myself, would it actually, there's three different ways that this could be situated. Would it actually orient the way that I would want? I think I want it like this. I don't actually know for sure. So the only way to know is to find out and just pick it. My only little qualm is that it does say, does not reset each day. Could this be our last outer room that we ever draft? Could it be? I hope not. I so badly want to see what is going to happen with the foundation in the grounds or in the outer room. But I'm also worried that we won't get to draft an outer room anymore. Okay. There's the first question answered here, which is, would this door on the left actually lead anywhere, such as the hidden chamber that's in the trading post, which we were interestingly just offered? It does not. So it's not like having an extra set of doors necessarily gets you to some predetermined or non-random chamber that's already there. What about the other side? Same story. Okay, so, and the elevator is up here. Dang it. Dang it. It looks, folks, like the foundation has been a strikeout. We have not, unfortunately, I don't think, other than a couple dig sites, which we may or may not come back to later in the day, but it does not appear as though the foundation does anything interesting in this place on the map, because this answers some important questions, I guess. It answers some important questions. Does it answer some important questions? Because, I don't know, are these rocks that we could theoretically interact with? What do I see beyond the rocks? I really just see a wall back there. There was a time in the game when I thought like a pile of rocks like this might be something that you could jackhammer out of the way. And now I'm not so sure. Now I tend to think that that's not the case. Especially because it looks like there's only just a wall on the other side. So, okay. Okay. I don't think there's anything else we can do then. We do not have a shovel, apparently. And it looks like, oh god, it looks like we got That's funny. The moon pendant, I guess, has gotten us a key card and running shoes. So we're saving some steps here. I didn't even realize we were saving some steps running around the grounds already. But it's really amazing the fortune here of picking a key card out on the one day, one of the days where we just happen to not, end our day in a break room. My cat laser brain was getting distracted at the slight differentiation here, the fact that the foundation is turned around, and the fact that the artwork is kind of changing a little bit, although the words are staying in place. So I was getting distracted thinking about that. Okay, so we have a key card and running shoes to start the day, and unfortunately, the foundation has not paid off as a room of interest. So the next room that I would most be interested in would have to be the antechamber, I think. The antechamber that's the next room that pops into my mind as one that might be interesting to put out in the outer room. Although it is less interesting now looking at this here, because I'm wondering, even if we were to get a door situated at the northern end, or whatever direction this is, where the elevator's at, if we got a door over there, the Rogue Moon door, presumably, and then opened the Rogue Moon door, would there even be anything there? We'd have to try. We would only be able to find out by actually trying. So if we can get to the antechamber today, we will do that. But unfortunately, a little bit of disappointment to temper my excitement to start the day. There's no way to go behind the outer room, right? Not from the outside. If we are to make it through the outer room to something beyond, it doesn't seem like it would be above ground if there were something beyond, because of the way the hills, if there were a tunnel or some passageway leading through the outer room, it would be underground most likely. And I guess maybe I should have thought, I was thinking about the fact that the foundation and its elevator, I was so excited about the possibility of where it might lead if it were in the outer room. I did realize the other day, and I realized the fact that the tomb already sort of goes straight down under the outer room, doesn't it? When you have the tomb out there, you simply are already going where that elevator presumably would. And so I started to kind of brace myself for the fact that the foundation may not be as of an exciting placement in the outer room as I had hoped. But I was thinking maybe the elevator would go farther down. Maybe it would actually go even lower than where the tomb is. So, okay. That is, we will have to move on. And we have other objectives, of course, to accomplish today. So it's not the end of the world to not get any immediate payoff from our blessing of the monk. What do we take here? Chapel versus reading nook versus break room. I kind of like the idea of just giving myself the extra doors from the chapel. We have 3 keys to start the day from our clock tower. I guess we never got our hands on a sauna, so we don't have the extra steps from the sauna, but we do have running shoes, so that's great. So, break room builds up our key stock the most likely. There could be a silver key in there, which I'm not as excited about, but we would certainly take the break room over a reading nook if we were only concerned about keys. The library from the reading nook is an interesting possibility, though, because of the chance to get a vault. Any chance that we can to land a vault on our estate today is one I will take. It's just a matter of, do I take it here? Because there could be a little bit of weirdness with the library pointing downward and then the vault being next to the entrance hall. But I would take that because we do already have a key card. And we can go to the foundation if we run out of options here. So I think that is what I'll do. I'll take the reading nook, but We won't draft there just yet because I do want to have 3 gems if we're going to draft from the library. So let's take the reading nook, and then before we go in there, we'll try to draft in the other direction so that we don't, we'll leave up, we probably won't draft the left side of the entrance hall just in case we go like library pointing down. We could draft a vault there. Leave the library as many open directions as possible. But let's go to this side, and here we can take security. Security is a nice start to the day because not only does it get us a higher security level, but we also can start experiments, which are now so much more exciting to do. Now, this does spend a gem, but we're getting doors over to the east wing side, and hopefully we can pick up a parlor or some other gems along the way. And maybe our experiment will help us with that as well. So let's spend a gem here and go into security. And we'll jump right into our, assuming there's no items, just have to check just in case, because those unexpected items can pop up. Let's go through our, the one key in the reading nook as expected. We'll go through each of our menus here systematically. Security level to high. And then the network login. We'll do our special order once again for a magnifying glass. We'll just keep doing that one, especially now that we have a new room that we know is in the pool waiting to be drafted. So let's do the staff services, special orders, magnifying glass. It just beats out all the competitors still. And then I think I have an idea about what I want to do with experiments. We had this, we got our first advanced experiment last time that we got to play around with. And there was also an option there to create a custom packet of experiments. And I was a little hesitant to jump into that. But I think I actually want to do that today. Because I was just a little worried that this might be a one-time only thing. Something tells me it's probably not. But even if it is, it says 8 or more experimental triggers. I think all this is here to do is really just allow you to get rid of the triggers and effects that you just don't like. Or the ones that you know that you're not going to pick. Like, I almost never pick the each time you eat an apple. And especially now that we're not really interested in drafting the schoolhouse or classrooms anymore. Unless I get a nudge that we need to review some classroom material. This is one of those that I don't think I want to pick. And I'm not even sure that I want to pick immediately. Because it's, you know, it's a powerful one to have in the pool because sometimes maybe, like I think we had one draft where I did pick immediately because I just needed a whole bunch of steps or something. I don't remember what it was. But usually I'm being the greedy bastard that I am, I want to get as many experimental procs as possible. So just the one time, oh, yeah, I get it now for sure. It's a guarantee, but then I don't get any more. That's not very fun. So I think we skip those two. What about whenever you draft a shop room? That's probably okay to keep in there. Each time you unlock or bypass a security door, that one's probably also a good one to have. Whenever you spend, this one has probably been our MVP. If I could just pick that one, if I could have a pool of only one experimental trigger, it would probably be that one because it is old reliable. We have gotten so many triggers off that. For each bedroom you draft out to your second. That one I don't think I've ever picked, and it just doesn't feel right. I never feel like I'm wanting to do a bedroom draft. Especially when you, like, some of your bedrooms are so rare, like the servants' quarters and the master bedroom, her ladyship's chamber. I just don't want to do that one. Now, the archive floor plan has been one that we've done. That could be an interesting one to have in there. Maybe we'll check that as a maybe. The next 3 times you unlock and open a chest. This is one that I have misunderstood so badly. I completely did not get this one. Thinking that it meant that the next... for every 3 chests that you open. How did I so badly misread this English sentence? Now, knowing what I know now, do I still not like it because it only happens 3 times? It only happens 3 times. I think I might leave that one out. I think I also would leave this one out. When you draft a hallway from another hallway, that seems to never happen. It seems to be like this bedroom criteria. It's too picky. I want ones that are more reliable. Each time you find some trash while digging. Huh. Interesting. We've seen this one before, haven't we? This is this is not one of the advanced ones. Like, are all the advanced ones? Where are they? Are they on this list? Oh, they are. Like, each time you pull a different antechamber lever, that's a new one. The next 10 times you view your map. Okay, so I'm just wondering, when are we going to go to the next screen? Because right now it just says escape to go back. I'm guessing once we pick 8, it's going to give me some sort of option to go forward. So let's just keep going through. Each time you find some trash while digging, I'll tentatively pick that one, because I could see myself picking that one at some point, even though we've never done it. When you draft a red room, lose 5 steps, and then. That one has been pretty powerful for us. We've definitely, like, when you can combine that with set your steps to 40, I think is what we did once before. That was a pretty good one. But these days, our step count is so high that we don't really like setting our steps to 40. But then the fact that our steps count is so high means that we can afford to lose 5 steps in order to trigger an experiment. So maybe that would be a good one to keep in there as well, to have some fun. While drafting, if you draw a drawing room floor plan, I do not like that one. And it's not just because another one that I completely misunderstood, but I just feel like it doesn't happen enough. I know the drawing room is common, I think, although did we make it standard? Maybe I should double check that, but I feel like I just don't like this one. It's just too sporadic, and I don't really have any much control over it. The first time you enter each room on rank 9. So now we have the new ones here on this. These are the new 8 that have been added. Should we just have, well, I don't know if I want to have all of them in there. The first time you enter each room on rank 9. So that the most that you can get, the most triggers that you can get are going to be 5. I'm presuming that the antechamber would be counted here. But then that's it. And you have to wait until you get to rank 9 in order to... I don't like this. I don't think I like this trigger. It has an upper limit, and you have to wait so long to get a payoff. I don't know that I like that at all. Each room with a fireplace that you draft. Now, this is one where I probably should put in some time to think about which rooms have fireplaces. The den, the trophy room we saw last time has a fireplace. The drawing room, I think, actually does, even though it's not lit. But that should count. What other ones? What other ones have a fireplace? Does the parlor have a fireplace? Might need to review the... Like, I would like to go through my... Actually, I will do that. Let me just go through my notes. I'll bring up my notes to look through. I was going to look through my floor plans on screen, but that would make me, like, back out of the menu. So I'm just going to go to my notes here to remind myself, and I'll put this on screen for you guys to see along with me as we remind ourselves. I think the parlor does have a fireplace. So you got the parlor. You've got... some of these might have updated screenshots, but... Or they might be out of date, depending on which rooms we've upgraded. I'm not sure which all of these thumbnails, because I haven't updated this document in a little while. But I think it's gotten most of the rooms with fireplaces should still be accurately... Oh, the dining room is another one. The rooms with fireplaces should show up here accurately. This and at the very least, it gives us enough of an idea. There wouldn't be any fireplaces in a hallway. Green rooms, I don't think would either, unless maybe the morning room. Doesn't look like the morning room has a fireplace. Shops, I don't think would have any, unless maybe the kitchen, but the kitchen's more like a stove. It's not a fireplace, right? The bookshop, no. What about red rooms? Red rooms, the furnace, does that count? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say technically that one doesn't count. And then we've got some studio additions. It feels like there's not that many. See, I haven't updated and added some screenshots to this one for a little while. I'm not, I think I leave this one out. It's another one that just, there's not enough ways to get it to happen. And you have to draft the room with the fireplace. You don't get to just draw it like you would with this trigger here, drawing a drawing room. For every room you draft within the next 40 seconds, we're definitely not doing that one. Screw that. Get that out of my game. I don't want to be rushed with my decisions. Each time you access a different terminal today, again, there's only like 4 terminals on the estate, right? Maybe 5. But I guess they're a little more reliable. We do get security pretty often. The grotto counts as a terminal. You can just go there at any time, right? Does it count as a terminal? We would actually have to find that out. This one could be okay, getting the office and, I don't know. There's just, it also doesn't really excite me. Each time you draft an upgraded floor plan. Now this one, I think we do quite a bit. We try to take our upgraded floor plans, I don't know about every time, but basically almost every time we see them. What are all our upgrades? There's the cloister. There's the spare master bedroom. We also have the hallway has been upgraded. The reading nook has been upgraded. Those are ones we see very commonly. The parlor's been upgraded. This has got to be a shoe-in to keep in the pool. Definitely want to do that. Different antechamber levers. The fact that there's one in the weight room, there's one in the mechanarium, there's one in the greenhouse. Like, these are rooms that we don't draft. So I don't want to do that one either. I don't want to do the 10 times you view your map. And so I guess that leaves me at, I have to pick at least these. Otherwise I don't have 8. So I think I would pick each time you draft a tomorrow room. Those, although that's also, you could say that one's going to take so long to get into your draft before you start taking tomorrow rooms. So why would you not take like the fireplace? Because there is the argument to say that there's 2 dens in your pool, right? And those are both common. So maybe this is one that you would rather see instead of this tomorrow room trigger. We could do that and just have a little bit of fun. Just say, hey, let's do something that is, it's not, you don't have to connect a hallway to another hallway. You just got to draft dens and other rooms. That is one that we should actually be able to prioritize. Now that I think about it, and now that we know that we just don't have there's not other options that I like more than this one. So I think we'll have to settle for this one. There's a lot of these new experimental or advanced triggers that I just don't gravitate toward. So I think I'm going to lock these in, but hopefully this is not a final decision, that we can create a new packet at some later date. Triggers. I like this one. 1 key, 1 gem, or 1 die. That feels like a good one. Setting your steps to 40, not one that I'm as interested in these days because our step count is usually pretty high. Add a small chest to the entrance hall is probably fine. Gain 1 key for every 2 hallways in your house. I don't really care for that one. Gain 1 star, I do like. Getting stars is good. Get us back to that inkwell. More ways to get stars. Gain 3 gold for each red room in your house. Meh. Spread dirt on the driveway. Meh. Set your dice to 2. I like that one. Add 3 aquariums to today's draft pool. That's more stars. I think I'll keep that one for sure. A letter being delivered to the mailroom. I wonder if we should keep this one, because so far the letters in the mailroom have just not been very helpful. So I think I might take that one out of the pool. I don't know if we've got them all. This is one I will open the door to you all in the comments. Let me know if this is a bad idea. If you think that you might want to reconsider delivering more mail to the mailroom, feel free to let me know. And I will, assuming that this is something that I can redo. Hopefully, it's got to be something you can create a different packet later, right? It doesn't feel like the kind of thing that the game would lock you out of. I don't think we need to add more gold to our allowance. Let's pass on that one for now. Losing 10 steps and gaining 20 gold. Again, we're not suffering for gold on almost any day. Stocking your pantry with fruit. Maybe, maybe not. Stocking your pantry with fruit. Just because we haven't tried it, I might leave that in there. I'm really not interested in lowering the reservoir by 1. We've done everything with the reservoir, I think, that needs to be done. Removing a crate from the tunnel, though, I'm very interested in that one. We definitely don't want that one to be... In fact, I don't know. Maybe I should winnow down my pool if once I end up with 8 here. If I go more... I may not want to go more than 8 just to make sure that the crate... For removing crates from the tunnel isn't watered out or isn't drowned out by other options. This would be the one that I would want to pick the most, I think. I want to get those crates out of the way and make a new discovery. Unsealing one of the doors of the antechamber, meh. That's also a pretty... We do want to get back to room 46 and get our hands on a crown again, but I could pass on this if I have to. Gain 1 key for every 30 steps you have. That could be a good one. And there's our 8 if we stop there. Permanently increasing our lockpicking skill. We did do that last time. And we could put that in place of the gaining 1 key. Gain 1 random item, then set your keys to 0. Ooh, I don't really love that one. Don't really love that one at all. But losing half your steps and then gaining 4 ivory dice. That one is really... Draft a weight room, but get 4 dice. Huh. Very, very tempting. Because those dice are so awesome in so many cases. But we have other ways to get dice. And I always just like having a comfortable amount of steps. I don't love... We have a lot of steps on most days, and cutting them in half, you've got steps to spend, but also you're losing a lot of steps in the process. It's a tough one for me to get on board with. Let's go with these 8 for now. We've added a couple new ones, and hopefully we can do another one. So custom experiment packet successfully created. Let's go back here, and there is packet management. So we could go and create a new one if we wanted to. But we won't do that today. I'm hoping we can. If I go back in here, I'm just worried that it'll like reset things if I go back into packet management. So right now, I'm happy with what we've got set. Let's do a new experiment. Let's see what we come up with for today. Okay. Okay, we did not get the removing crates from the tunnel. So which one are we interested in? Probably this one. I just like getting... I need gems and I need dice, and I'll take keys as well. So that's probably the one that we go with. When I have 3 keys already, I'm not as desperate for this one. I'd much rather get my hands on gems and dice. And is that a better way to get gems and dice than adding a small chest to the entrance hall? Let's see. The triggers when you draft an archive floor plan. Now I'm kind of regretting having this one in here because it does require you to draft an archives, right? Maybe I should rethink taking that one out. Each time you draft an upgraded floor plan, that's probably the pick. The other option is drafting a red room, losing 5 steps. I think we do the upgraded floor plan. And I don't remember. Yeah, but we said we walked through. Unfortunately, we already chose one of those upgrades, the reading nook, but we still have so many other ones in the pool that we've upgraded, and I think that's what we roll with. It's just a matter of, do we do keys, gems, dice, or small chest? If this were yesterday and I had started with a morning star like I did on day 39, then maybe we go with the small chest, but I will go with the random resources option. Let's do that as our experiment. And now we have our experimental packet management taken care of for the moment, and we'll see if we make adjustments to that in the future. So let's continue here by drafting the corner. We'll do the corner first. They give us a laboratory right there. Interesting. Okay, I think we're gonna take the dormitory here. I don't usually like taking the dormitory, but I think it is actually going to get us some steps right away. But that's not the reason to choose the dormitory. The reason is because I think I mentioned last time the fact that I've received a nudge that the dormitory is a room that I should re-examine. And I think I'm okay taking that here. Now, the break room, of course, would trigger our experiment. So we do want to be building up resources here. And so the break room is a good one. And it would also make sure that we have a break room to call it a day in, except we have Blessing of the Monk. And we don't really want to call it a day in the break room. We want to call it a day in the antechamber. So the break room is a common. There are going to be other chances to get our hands on it. I think the dormitory is a standard. Let's take the dormitory here. Let's choose the dormitory. And look at that. We get rewarded. The dormitory tends to give you an item, and in this case, it gave us dice, which is great. Awesome. Okay, so what is it that I have failed to pick up on in the dormitory? My first thought was the chessboard. My first thought is the fact that we have a chessboard here, and chess is pretty important to the overall estate. Is it possible that D8 is a square that would be interactable for some reason? Because D8 was where the queen was placed in the studies chessboard. Are there any squares on this chessboard that might be a square that you can click on and get some secret chamber that opens up? If there were a square on this chessboard that were interactable in such a way, which one would it be? Right now, I'm just brute force clicking every single one of them. I hadn't thought at all about what square might be relevant in the dormitory, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. There is a pawn here. I feel like that's only relevant to the chessboard that's outside by the castle word puzzle. The castle chess room. So if the chessboard is not what we're supposed to be interested in. Oh, here's a thing I never picked up on before. We see Kararika. We see Kararika here. Oh. Kararika University. Screenshot. Kararika University, you say. Is this the detail that I hadn't internalized? I think I might have glossed. I think like when we first drafted the dormitory, whenever that was, I might have thought to myself, ooh, Kararika University. Okay, it's like, yeah, it's a dormitory. It's like a dorm room. Cool. And I just put it away as like a little bit of flavor that wasn't to be re-examined until just now. And realizing Kararika University, what if that is some information about our Kararika sigil? Let's take a look at our sigil notes here. What do I have for Kararika? I had been putting them as potentially tribal, but now, oh boy, I think we can cross out. We've tried academic for nuance for so many different things. I don't think it's academic. I think Kararika might be academic because of the dorm room. I need to make this bigger. Excuse me if you couldn't read that, but this does also confirm probably what we already knew about. I think we felt pretty strongly about Kararika being orange and also having the boomerang, right? So that part we've pieced together. But now this seems like a pretty clear indication about an academic background for Kararika. Okay, all right. Let's lock that in for now, or not lock it in, but let's put that at the top of our suspicion list when it comes to sigils. And if we get our hands on a vault key later today, hopefully that's going to happen. Either from picking up the throne room or getting our hands on a vault and a code check. one way or the other, we're hoping that that's going to pay dividends. I don't think there's going to be anything new in the drafting strategy book. I'm guessing that that's not what this nudge was about. So, so I think this feels like the information that I was most overlooking. Pretty much completely overlooking. So there we go. Okay. And now we have the dormitory on our estate near the entrance hall if we want to come back for some steps in the future. So let's keep our draft going here. And now we really want to start picking up some gems if we can help it. And the commissary is usually a very good way to do that. I would like to draft a den, of course, because that's a guaranteed gem. But the commissary potentially has so many more gems, and we have coins to spend. So let's take the commissary. It is our last gem, but hopefully we're not going to get screwed over. And I do see a whole bunch of gems here. I think we're good. Cool. And there's a shovel as well, so we can dig some dig sites out in the foundation. We have 2 foundations, actually, to dig sites. So let's just buy, I think, everything. Even though there's no sale at the moment, I'm not going to wait for that, I think, because we're almost guaranteed to end up with just way too many coins at the end of the day, more than what we know to do with. And there we go. Okay. Bought out the commissary. And we keep on drafting in this direction. I think we just keep going and follow this. Well, here's the thing. We could, this is where actually I will change directions for a couple of reasons. We'll head back to I'm just debating whether I'm going to dig now or later. We can dig later. We'll dig later because we may go around to the foundation that's in the house. And so we'll be going outside at some point through the entrance hall, and we can just dig up the outer room foundation at that point. Right now, what I want to do, while I have as many gems as possible, is I want to... And I have 2 dice, so I could use those here to go for a vault while I have the opportunity. There's a guy's bedroom. But, oh, this is another one of our upgraded rooms. That's true. But I'm taking a library. I'm taking a library, and it points in a direction which is good for us. So let's take the library. I think we definitely take the library. And then, I'm just thinking about how do I maximize my chances of getting a vault. More dice would help with that. So maybe I should go back to the entrance hall and try to draft a Geist bedroom down there. Maybe. Why don't we do that? Let's just take the extra steps here to go back and draft the other side of the entrance hall and just see what we get, at least from this room. There's a coat check. Okay. That was another thing maybe to think about, is like nailing down the coat check to make sure that when you do get that vault, you're actually paid off. So I think I'll definitely take the coat check here. I'm interested in observatories because it's worth thinking about the observatories actually because of Draxus the Dead. And I'm wondering, should I actually take that over a coat check to really maximize my chances when I get to the library? But I don't know that Draxus the Dead is going to show up there guaranteed. I don't remember how many stars I have. We're short of 50. So we're not getting the inkwell. But I have not been taking copious notes on what our recent observatory rewards were. Would have been a good thing probably to give myself some extra information here. I'll settle for the coat check, though. Hopefully if we don't get the vault through the library, then we do end up later, hopefully, with some observatories that may or may not get us Draxus the Dead. Hopefully get us Draxus the Dead. But let's take our vault key so that we have it when we need it. And we got a coat check right by the entrance hall. Okay, so now, do I go and try to get more dice from other places and then come back to the library? Am I putting all my dice rolls into the library to try to get a vault there? There's so many other rooms in the pool that are likely to show up. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we just draft from the library now, and we see what happens. If we get a vault, great. Maybe I'll spend 1 die to, if I don't love the options here. But let's draft from the library. Yo! Wow! This is actually, I would actually love to take all 3 of these, but we do get a vault. Slam dunk that shit. I know it's going to screw up my floor plan, but I am not. I am not waiting around for anything else. I'm not, like, we could have thought the study was even an intriguing one there to give ourselves the extra rerolls today. I'm also interested, by the way, I've been given a nudge on the Starfish Aquarium, because apparently I need to drain the aquarium and take another look. So that may be on the agenda for later, but we got to open up. We got to open up a vault door here. There it is. I was trying to remember. It's in the 300s, right? 370 is the one. Bro, we actually got, wow. Holy crap, there's a note in here as well. There's gems, there's coins, and there's a note. Now I wonder, would I ever be so greedy as to leave these coins for later? So that I, because if you don't pick up these items now, are they just there later when you come back to the vault? Because what was in here in these other slots? Allowance tokens, right? There was actually a stack of gold in one of them, wasn't there? And so these resources, like gold, if there is one if there is a stack of gold in one of the deposit boxes, it's not going to automatically replenish like the gold that's over on the, the guaranteed gold that's on the floor plan note, plus 40 gold. This gold that's in the deposit box and the gems, my min-max brain here is trying to do stuff that doesn't matter when I should just be reading the note, but I love thinking about these things. Okay, let's read the note. It's a note from Mary to Uncle Herbert. Thank you again for all your help. I know I could never hope to repay you, but it pains me to know that I won't even have the chance to try. At any rate, I'm leaving these extra funds behind, as well as the extra passports. It would be too risky if we were searched at the border, and the money would raise too many suspicions. I think we all want a clean start anyway. I know I do. Mary. A clean start. What a note this would be, writing this, knowing that you're not, this might be the last thing that you ever write to your uncle. Oh man, I'm so curious to see where this is going to go, and whether or not, are we actually going to get reunited with Mary at some point? How is this game, I don't know how far you have to go in this game to get any sort of like finality in that in the storyline. We'll see how it goes. We'll take the gems and we'll just go with the flow here. We'll take the gold. 40 gold that we're just not probably going to be able to spend unless we get a freezer, but it is what it is. It's fine. But we definitely are interested in this bad boy. Sanctum Key Get. And especially now with our newly added intel for Kararika, I'm not actually sure which. I was thinking I might go for not Morajai, but Arch Ares next. I can spam these. Spam. All right, gold is good. Gold is good. Which sigil are we going to go for next? That'll be a decision that I worry about when we actually get back down underground. Let's continue drafting through the commissary for now. Let's try, our west wing is a little bit screwed at the moment, but we'll try to fill out as much as we can over here on the east side. Okay. That's a pretty good boudoir. That's a pretty decent boudoir. I should have picked up the steps from the dormitory because we did draft a library. But we get the boudoir, I think, which gives us another gem and some dice. And I think I prefer that over the pantry. The pantry doesn't matter to me at the moment. Our experiment, again, is drafting our upgraded rooms, right? And none of these count. So we just take the boudoir here. And then I'll grab the steps that I should have because maybe we'll draft another. Oh, that also. Oh, the boudoir counts? Never mind. I'm a dingus. The boudoir is an upgraded room. What did we get? A key. I think we just added a key. I wasn't watching. I should have gotten these steps when I came through security the first time. But we may draft another drafting room for our dormitory as we go up the east wing. And the unexpected awesome experimental trigger for our upgraded boudoir is awesome as well. Let's keep going. The pool, that's perfect. That actually buffs the dormitory again, but it also adds the pump room to the pool. So, and I want the pump room, if we're going to get the aquarium at some point, then we want to be able to drain the aquarium, and you can only do that with the pump room. So I think I take the pool. I can't open the trunks without using keys. They may still be worth opening, though. But we can probably delay that decision. I think with so many gems already, I can definitely spend the gems on the pool here. The gem, singular. We'll leave the trunks, the swim trunks for now. Let's continue through rank 3. Oh, and we have a package from the mailroom. Okay. That's probably better than the walk-in closet. Maybe. It might give us the compass, and I'm not sure I would want the compass just yet. If I want to draft if we're going to go back out to the foundation and maybe draft down the west wing, maybe we do that, maybe we don't. Mailroom, though, versus walk-in closet. The 4 items, we're pretty healthy on our resources at the moment. But the mailroom is also just going to get us similar items, most likely. And there could be a chance at a compass, which I may or may not want. I don't know. I don't know here. The mailroom does count as a tomorrow room. So when we inevitably draft a clock tower or some other related room, is the clock tower the only one that gets buffed by other tomorrow rooms? The mailroom would count toward that. But the walk-in closet... No, this is not an upgraded room, is it? This is not upgraded. This is just... It's been made common. That's what it is. We made it common with the conservatory. I guess I'm taking a mailroom here. Unless I want to re-roll. I don't think this is worth spending a die here. Although I'd like the idea of getting that other room in rank 3. But I'm not as concerned about filling out my full house today. I'd rather hold on to some dice for later. Let's... Yo, there's actually a battery here. What? I don't even know if I want to pick up the battery, to be honest, because it may just end up being fodder for... unwanted fodder for a moon pendant at the end of the day. See, this package here is... I don't know. I guess it's okay. A sleeping mask is fine. Probably going to have more steps than I know what to do with. Just take it. It's fine. It's fine. Let's draft above the pool and see what we get. Parlor. That's an upgraded room. Procs our experiment. And it keeps us going in this direction for now. But I could also take a locksmith and say to myself, I've got all the keys I ever need today. And I can go around to the foundation and start drafting from there. That might be the smarter pick, especially with all this gold that we do need to spend some way. This would let us comfortably open up the swim trunks here in the pool. I think I'm okay with that, actually. We start doing our draft from the foundation, and this would allow us. This would give us the opportunity to go outside and do some digging, and also maybe open up a sanctum key door, which I would be excited about doing. Let's go ahead And I also want to play the parlor game, though, because I know we have an achievement that I eventually want to get to. So I'm torn on this. I'm torn on what to do here. I will go ahead and take the locksmith, though. It closes things. It closes one set of paths off to us, but it opens up another. It opens up hopefully many others. Let's start with the special key, and probably the special key in the lockpick kit are definites. It was so cool discovering another. There it is, the prism key. That's what I was hoping for. The prism key was so much fun last time, getting to discover its interaction when you're in the aquarium. The fact that it can, in fact, get you any color that you want. Lockpick kit, though, we will pick that as well. Picking the pick kit. Do I get any additional keys? Because the lockpick kit cannot be used on the trunks. So we probably should pick at least this. At least one set of 3 keys. That should probably be good for quite some time. Let's see, we'll have 6 keys. Let's just see what we get from the swim trunks. And then if I don't get any keys at all from the swim trunks, maybe I'll go and buy another round, another set of 3. A treasure map, huh? Where is the treasure map pointing us to? Right next to the foundation. How convenient. Awesome. Do I want the compass? Because I kind of want to draft down the west wing. I feel like I leave the compass behind. I feel like I don't really want the compass just yet. I'm not going to take it. Might be wrong. But I have other things I want to do. Okay, we do get a key back. So I think with that, I'm not going to buy anything else from the locksmith. But it's in a pretty convenient spot. It's not too far out of the way if we decide to come back. If we somehow don't get our hands on more keys. And the sleeping mask is giving us a nice little boost here. Because we're going to go get both the sleeping mask and the additional proc from drafting the pool. So dormitory is being very nice to us today. Okay, only one place to go. Well, only one direction to go, but we do have multiple stops here along that way. Let's first get our dig sites out here. This game is so much fun, guys. Every time that I get in the flow of a blueprints draft, it's just ridiculously fun. Even if sometimes you do dig up some pebbles and your foundation in the outer room doesn't pan out the way that you were hoping it would. But that's fine. So, and man, like at some point, we're going to be able to get crates out of this tunnel. What a wild discovery that was. And the moment last time when we got to step into the Arindian ruins, that music was just epic. Loving this. I think we're going to go and open up one of these other doors. I think it's time to use this sanctum key because this will help us nail down some of the other, at least one of the other sigils, hopefully. And then that will get us closer to solving that nuance sigil. Which now apparently is not academic. Because it's looking like Kararika is academic. The question is, do we open Kararika? Or do we open Morajai? Or do we open Arch Ares? We need to get to the inner sanctum, and then we'll check our little table. And think about what we feel most confidently about. We'll open the Rogue Moon door as well, because we may... Well, hopefully we're getting to the antechamber, and if we are, then I would love, because now we'd have an open coat check, and I would love to be able to put a crown in that coat check. So, Morajai, Kararika, Arch Ares. 3 doors remain. Monty Python. Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. Isn't that, isn't there, Wayne Brady is the one who hosts that now? I've never seen an episode of that. But I did, as a kid, we would see some old reruns of Monty Hall's Making a Deal. Let's make a deal here on a Sanctum key. Arch Ares, we feel very confident about, well, I don't know. I guess I feel moderately confident about the fact that it's industrial and the fact that it's stormy. And also the fact that the transportation would be also train related, because this whole continent was connected by trains, and we saw already that both Arinda and Araja had train travel. So it's not unprecedented for the mode of transportation to be reused. So honestly, I think I feel the most confident about Arch Ares. Kararika, I was just guessing based on the stamp showing a bunch of snow. I was guessing that you might have horse travel. Just a guess. Morajai, I don't really know if it's agricultural. That's kind of a shot in the dark, just because all of the other options that I had lined up, there was nothing left to put for Morajai. I feel okay about it being windy, but the 8 rays, well, the 8 rays are ship transportations, right? Let's go to Realm and Rune. The 8 rays, naval capabilities. That one I do feel pretty confident about when it comes to Morajai, so I didn't put a question mark there. But I'm not sure about the weather. I feel like I want to do Arch Ares though. But the thing is, if it turns out to not be trains, what are we picking? What are we picking instead of trains? If all goes well, we end up getting a throne room later today, and we get our chance to pick another room. So I'm gonna go with Arch Ares. I feel like that's the one that I am most confident in. It's just that one mode of transportation that I'm not uber confident. But the first one we're gonna try at least is going to be trains. And we're gonna see how that turns out. So let's get in here, and I guess I'll leave this like it is, so I can alt tab back to my my spreadsheet, my table at any time that I want. It's my brain starts thinking, okay, what am I doing first here? But I also need to talk and finish my sentence. The brain can only do one thing at a time, guys. The first thing that we're gonna do here, the sigil, right? The sigil is one that I feel pretty good about, it being industrial. So, industrial is, which one? The little square with the dot inside. I think it's right after academic. Okay. Now, the color, well, the next piece here is actually the weather, right? The weather should be stormy. What is stormy again? The jagged lines, the jagged lightning-shaped ray. That's not the one I wanted to, why are you changing, hello? I want to change this wheel right here. I don't understand what the UI was glomming onto there. That was weird. This is the one I wanted to change. That's the style of ray that I want. Now, the next piece here is the number of rays. The number of rays denotes the transportation, and that's where we're gonna try the train system again. But I'm not so sure about it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if that does the trick. Okay, so we got the right sigil, got the right weather, hopefully the right transportation. We just need to get this to yellow as our border. Yellow is also kind of jaggedy lines. Like that. Okay. Is this the one? It is! Let's fucking go! There's always that little delay there where I'm like, did it actually work? Did it actually work? It did. Arch Aries is, let's lock this in now before I forget, but we can say that this is in fact, how do I copy the format here? That's not the one. Is this something you could do in Microsoft Word? I think there's like a paint format tool, but I don't know if I can do it in Google Docs. Regardless, we're gonna go ahead and bold. We don't need these to be, these can be bolded because this is no longer a question mark here. Just bold everything and then make it all yellow because we can lock in that. Wait, where's the text color? Hello? It's right here. That yellow? That's kind of a, that is a harsh yellow. We gotta make that a little bit tamer. Just a little bit, but not too tame. I think that's what I had before. Something like that. Arch Aries is locked in, guys. We are good to go. And what do we have? Probably another Morajai box. I would expect nothing less. We'll get to the Morajai box in just a moment. Let me also just take a screenshot of this for my records. Take all the screenshots. Look at this. This is pretty. I'm assuming that the power plant is featured here on the right-hand side, but maybe the whole thing is a power plant. Maybe that's the entirety of Arch Aries is all just one big power plant. That's kind of cool architecture that they've got here. I like that. Very futuristic. And then what the hell is this? Some sort of instrument? It looks like it's got like cello strings or something. I'm not sure whether these are meant to be plucked or played with a bow. Feels like an instrument though. Very interesting. Let's check the note though. The note. First City of Steel. Is it Renbaum or Renabaum? Renabaum. Arch Aries. We arrived here after a few days of sailing, and it made me realize how much more convenient it would have been in the old days when the railway tracks extended all the way north. The old days. So the railway tracks, even in Arch Aries, they don't have the same reach that they used to. Arch Aries is a destination with which I am well acquainted, having traveled here countless times on business for Cinca. This time, however, I will avoid the familiar towns and factories and will instead trek along the northern coast, an area with which I am wholly unfamiliar. Novelty. Herbert is just like everybody else, searching for that novelty. Arch Aries. So the few days of sailing could mean that they were coming from Morajai, but it could also mean that they were coming from any of the other countries, realms that were not on the same continent. And that includes Nuance, right? Nuance is southwest of Arch Aries, but it's not connected by land. So we know that in the overall order of the 8 realms and 8 months or whatever, Arch Aries is not connected to, or it does not come after either Fen Aries, Arinda Aries, or Araja. Okay, so screenshots have been taken. Let's check. Is it just me or does it feel like I'm like zooming around here? I don't know why. It feels like I'm going hyper speed for some reason. My character is so fast. Let's read about the Morajai Arch Aries edition box. Arch Aries was the very first realm to introduce a new color to the traditional monochromatic tiles of the box. Given the number of ship routes and trade relationships between the two realms, this is not surprising. Fittingly, the variation itself was based on the brass compasses manufactured in Arch Aries that were often traded to sailors in exchange for the valued Morajai puzzle boxes. When yellow tiles are pressed, they move north. the compass that I skipped. The brass compass that I did not want. But it was such a valuable trade commodity, apparently, between Arch Ares and Morajai. I feel Morajai has got to be ship travel, right? It's gotta be. We just gotta figure out what the rest of the variables are gonna be. Okay, we need to get yellow to the corners. What does green do again? What does black do again? Right, black does that. Gray does nothing. Or white, maybe. I think it's gray, because I think there is actually a white square. Green, though, is the green... I always forget exactly what... Let's go here and now do green. Oh, right, it flip-flops if it's on the border. When it's in the middle, it does nothing, because there's nothing to swap with, but it transposes itself with the square that's across the way. So, this kind of almost gets us there. Let's say we did this, and now we do this. I think I've got this. I think we got it. Easy game. Arch Ares out of my game, and now, oh my god, guys, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. Do I even need to say anything? Do I even need to say anything at all about our allowance? We love our allowance tokens. But you know, at this stage of the game, we don't refuse them. We don't refuse them. We don't say no. Although, would we say no to the next one? We might have a bit of a quandary. There could be a dilemma to consider. In any case, though, we have a sigil success to, yo, what the heck? Oh, is this? Oh my god, I've bugged the game out. I have bugged the game out because apparently this artwork is screwed up when you have two foundations. That's so funny. This would normally be two pieces of the artwork for the house and the 8 dates, 8 safes business, but now the game doesn't know what to do. There's 2 foundations. Oh my god, the real artwork is way down underneath the outer room. We can't get to it. Quick, we must save it. Yo, what the heck? No way. Wait a minute. Do I not get to do my elevator because of this? Have I completely screwed myself over for today? Oh no. Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me, dude. I have actually caused the game to... It doesn't know what to do with 2 foundations. No. Oh, that's so unfortunate. If there's no way to actually get this to work, I'm gonna see if it's done something with the elevator here. I have to see if it's done something with the elevator. Has it actually done anything? Or is it still up? It's still in the up position. Bro, our elevator, we are SOL, I think. We are actually SOL. So, oh my god. Wow. Wow. Well, interesting. This is certainly an interesting conundrum, because that kind of means we're done. Wow. Fascinating. Whoa. We're done, folks. There's nothing else I can do. I'll go back down to the bottom one more time, but I think we're screwed for today. What? Wow. Well, this is what you get for drafting, for putting the foundation in 2 places. The game says, nope, you aren't allowed to do that, bro. That's illegal. That is an illegal move. Because I've already inserted the security card. I can't do it again. And pressing this button does diddly squat. And I can spam it as much as I want, and it ain't gonna do shit. I thought for a second, because I had gone to the room directory, or the map, I was over here looking at the map, and I thought that, where's my elevator at, huh? And then it dawned on me, wow, we actually can't do anything else. That's crazy. It's maybe even crazier, the fact that we managed to get a coat check and a vault within the first 3 ranks. We went basically nowhere in the house, but we still managed to get our hands on a sanctum key, and we got the solve for the sigil that went along with that sanctum key. So wow. Huh. It's been a while since this has happened. It's been a long time since we've had a very, 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 very short draft. And the last time this happened, I just basically said, nope, we're not done. We're gonna go ahead and jump into another one. But I'm not sure that's what I'm gonna do in this case. I'm not totally sure yet what I want to do, because I don't know if I can go with a, like, the potential for having a very long draft is always there. And because I know how our drafts tend to go, and this is just this funky aberration. So I might mull it over here for a few minutes, but I think this might be where we have to say day 40 is at a premature end. Now, I guess regardless of whether I'm doing another draft right now or not, I guess there's still the decision of which room to apply our Blessing of the Monk to. Since we're not making it to the antechamber today, I think we would probably take the entrance hall, wouldn't we? Because, I mean, that's almost just as good. Maybe that's even better than the antechamber, because then you don't even have to worry about opening any of the doors. But I'm not sure, because I just don't know. I just don't know exactly how this works in terms of what gets counted. How does the game logic treat these doorways, right? The doorway that's in the antechamber, the Rogue Moon door, we do know that if you open these antechamber doors and then you somehow like get to draft across, like we've done it before where we've opened one of the antechamber doors and actually gotten to draft through it out back into the other side. So we know that there are like, there's the doors that you open with the levers, but there's also the door that just opens and lets you draft a new room. And then, so when it comes to putting that sort of a room out in the outer room, we saw what happened with the foundation. These doorways that are in the foundation are just, there's just rubble there. And I presume that the same thing would happen with the entrance hall. These doors to the left and right would also be rubble. But what about this door? Would it also be rubble? Maybe. Now, I can't think of any other door that would even really be like, any other room out of these that would even be interesting to take. At least from a, you know, there might be interest in terms of like how it could affect your draft. Like, oh, I want to take a commissary, so I have it like right off the bat, and I don't have to wait for it in any other spot. Or the vault, right? Like, oh, I can get the vault right at the start of the day and just get a bajillion coins no matter what. Or the coat check. Although we've gotten the coat check out in the outer room before, haven't we? Through the berries, the magic of the berry picker. So this is a weird one. For my own curiosity's sake, though, I feel like I want to take the entrance hall to see if this other door actually leads anywhere. And I don't want to wait. I kind of don't want to wait a whole other however long until my next recording might be. I'm a little disappointed that we did not get, like, there's still a lot of promise to this draft with a treasure map and getting our hands on a throne room, but that same promise still kind of waits if we call it a day. So, I might regret this, but I know you all won't regret me doing it because you're going to be sitting here watching this. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start another day drafting this. And I might have to go into a little bit of speed run mode. We might, who knows how. I'm going to try not to overly complicate and think to death my decisions in the draft. We'll try to just go with the flow and not make it a marathon draft if we can help it. But I'm going to call it here in the entrance hall. None of these other rooms really interest me in terms of like, oh, I got to have a locksmith out as my outer room. That's going to be so amazing to start the day. Like, it would be nice, obviously, to start with a bunch of keys, but it doesn't really give us a new discovery, potentially. Giving us a doorway at the other end of the outer room might. So let's call it a day here and see what happens. Although I almost forgot, we do have a coat check that we want to put something in. What would we coat check? Because we're not going to have a key card tomorrow. We don't have a moon pendant to carry over any of these items. But I don't need this vault key anymore. I could coat check a treasure map. That could be fun. Maybe the key card? The key card is maybe the most valuable out of these items. So, do we just coat check the key card? It's not exciting, but none of these are particularly exciting, if I'm being honest. I think that's what I do, because the key card is the one that just lets me draft as many doors as possible. It's just, it might take the key card away from other places that it could be discovered, but the key card isn't really naturally found that easily. It just tends to it'll randomly show up in chests. That's, or maybe the mailroom. And other than that, I think I probably have just as much of a chance of getting it from the coat check as anywhere else. So let's put it in the coat check, and then we're going to call it a day here. Because the game, having two foundations, doesn't work the way that I was hoping it would. Or it didn't pan out the way that I hoped it would, and it certainly screwed things up more than I realized it would. We're calling it a day, though. Call it in the entrance hall, and in a rarity here on the channel, we're actually going to jump into a second draft in one episode. Because you just feel so incomplete looking at this pitiful of an ending screen. A Mount Holly small cottage. I almost want to pretend that didn't even happen, except for the fact that we did get a sanctum key from the vault, and we solved a new sigil. Progress, even with a small cottage. So we like that. But we'll put a wrap on Dave. Not much of a wrap to put on day 40, but in this case, I will be saving and continuing, because I think this just jumps us straight into day 41. What the heck? We've done this before, right? We've done this a couple times before, but it has been a very, very long time. I forgot to throw a coin in the fountain. I could have done that. I'm sure that's going to come back to bite me. Not wishing for good luck in that fountain. It sucks that we miss out on those clock tower keys that we had, but man, what a splendiferous allowance total that we're starting with. Okay, outer room. Outer room, we must see what we get in the outer room. If it does us any good to have two entrance halls. No, wait a second. No, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. It actually does work this way. No. No. No, guys. You have got to be kidding me. I didn't think the game would do it. I didn't think the game would do it, but it did. I didn't take the warning, guys. What? Have I made the biggest mistake ever? Have I completely just screwed myself over? What? I might need to consult. I might need to pull up one of my trusted advisors on Discord or something. Or what? I feel like I've screwed up my game file. I feel like I don't have a key card. But if I did, I'm guessing that this would not. I can no longer get into the foundation, the regular foundation that's in the house, and I can no longer draft an outer room. I'm like screwed on two different fronts. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I can't begin to say how just dejected I feel right now. I'm hopeful that I'm just jumping to conclusions thinking that my game file is completely screwed. But I can't help but feel like I've done something that is irrevocably damaging. And to the point that I kind of don't want to play the game anymore. I think I need to talk to somebody about this because I am incredibly worried right now that I've done something that has just lost all the progress that we put into things here, and I have to figure out if that's the case. But I don't want to spoil myself either, right? I still want to maintain as much of my blind playthrough status as I can, because I don't want answers to questions like what might be on the other side of the outer room or whatever else, whatever other mysteries that we have left to explore. But I have to figure out if this can be fixed, because this is just not the way that I want to play this game. I don't want my outer room to always be a second foundation, and the fact that those pink portraits that were underneath the real foundation, it lends me to believe that this has got to be a bug, that this was not intended. Let me try to talk to somebody about this and see what I can find out. Talk to one of my trusted advisors and get them on the emergency Discord hotline here and see what I can turn up. Okay, I have talked to one of my trusted advisors, And I think the crisis is averted. Probably you all knew this already, and maybe all of y'all have been through a similar circumstance, because it sounds like my friend was in the same exact circumstance, and went through the same exact process. And so, describing what was happening, I think my friend, it became clear from his responses that he was expecting this to happen. Having already seen the events of day 39, I think he kind of knew what was coming. And so I just needed some reassurance that this was not a bug, that this has been accounted for by the devs, and that apparently is the case. That's what my friend told me. I was in the process of explaining to him the situation, and he basically asked if I had done anything on day 41, and I told him no. That's the only thing I've done. I haven't drafted any rooms so far. And as I responded with that, and he was in the process of typing back to me, I had a realization. I had a realization here. The fact that the elevator here is up, just like it was when we first drafted the foundation, right? The elevator did not start in a normal position. It was up here, just like it was previously. And just like previously, when the elevator was in the up position, I tried to go down, I think I did this, I tried to go down underneath into the basement and use my security card, and the elevator didn't come down then either. Now, I don't think there was any bugged out artwork with the magenta background like we saw a while ago. And I think that's what really got me. It was the artwork that threw a wrench into my thinking, because I saw that and thought, oh, there's a bug going on here. I've bugged out the game because the artwork looks bugged. And so when I came here to the foundation, still being in the outer room and thinking to myself, no, I've screwed up my game file. It's bugged out altogether. The artwork kind of threw me off a little bit. But as I was talking with my friend, before he fully responded to tell me that this is intended, or this is accounted for by the developers, I had the realization, wait a second, what if we just need to go back to the foundation here and do the thing again with hitting the switch behind the foundation? Get to this room on rank 4 with a door pointed in the right direction. And does that actually reset the foundation? Not just the regular foundation elevator though, but maybe it also is connected to this foundation. Maybe that switch controls both elevators. And it, because if this is in fact, because this bit of confirmation is helpful in this case, that I did need a sure word to know that my game wasn't bugged out, because I was ready to uninstall the game for good, man. I probably wouldn't have, but I that's how I was feeling in the moment. I was feeling like, no, what have I done? And maybe you all have felt the same way. Feel free to tell me. Feel free if you went through a similar circumstance to let me know, and we can commiserate together on being momentarily jebaited into thinking that we were gonna uninstall the game. However, I'm wondering now if by resetting the foundation elevator at rank 5, will that also put the elevator in the right position out in the outer room? And maybe we can still ride that elevator down. And maybe this is in fact the intended, who knows, part of the end game state of affairs is to just have the foundation permanently as your outer room as well. And that's the ultimate end goal of this Blessing of the Monk. I might be getting ahead of myself, but let's settle into new draft mode. Even though we've already had a draft today. Yo, okay, that's a tunnel. That's interesting. So the tunnel, I mean, maybe it's not super interesting, because the tunnel, we would be able to pick a second tunnel, and then, but then from there, we couldn't pick a third tunnel. Well, no, we could, maybe. We might be able to pick a third tunnel. We'd have to then go around the foundation, and if we're trying to get behind the foundation, which is definitely my main goal now, if we do nothing else today, getting to the back of the foundation and hitting that switch is what we need to do. So when we go to draft this room, we want to make sure we've got dice. At least, if not other ways to redraw. I don't know how many stars we have. Did we get any stars on day 40? I don't think so. So I don't know if the tunnel is the right pick here. We could just go with a reading nook because now we have 0 keys. And maybe the reading nook is the smart move. Because what we could do is get a reading nook and then, I don't know if I would pick a library, but whatever room we get out of the reading nook, we could get a doorway that points upward, and then we get a tunnel offered there. And we just build a tunnel straight to the back of the foundation. I think I'll take the reading nook because we will want some keys now that we've been set back to square one on all of our resources. We may or may not take a library there. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. But let's draft this door at the entrance hall because maybe I would rather skip the reading nook door altogether in terms of drafting. We'll see how this goes. That's a study. A study very early on. That gives us redraws. It also gets us a gem. I think I actually take the study here. I think I take the study. Security is not nearly as valuable now to us, even though it would let us start experiments again, but we don't have a key card. We got nothing, man. We got nothing right now. So I think I take the study. This gets us our 3rd gem, and it puts a powerful tool in our pocket, which is one of the things we want to have redraws when we get to the back of the foundation. Let's take the study. And there might be other items here as well. This very often happens where we just get like an additional bonus gem laying around in the study. So the study is a good one. So we get 2 gems from the study, and let's draft the other side of the entrance hall. Now we did put a key card. We did put a key card in the coat check, correct? So does that show on our... I need to check my map after we get out of this screen here. I might have taken the guy's bedroom if we had not just got a study. I think here I'll take the hallway, though, to get myself another key, as well as the additional doors. So we'll head to the east side here and try to fill out the eastern side of our base, kind of just like we did on day 40, and build up our resources, which hopefully include some dice, before we head over to the foundation side of the estate. So we'll draft down here. And, oh yeah, I was going to check there is a key card here in the coat check if we wanted to take it. But we could also take the conservatory and fool around with some rarity adjustments. But I'm not sure if that's what I want to focus on. The conservatory is a really good room, but I really want to make sure we get to the back of the foundation. Now, do I need either the break room or the coat check to make that happen? Probably not. There's probably not going to be enough locked doors in our way to get to the back of the foundation. It's only rank 4 that we got to get to. But it would be... Taking one of these rooms means we don't spend a gem. I'm just not sure if I want to spend the gem on the conservatory. It's also funny now because apparently this Blessing of the Monk is not going to apply to whatever we do. So now calling it a day in a break room again is on the menu. But of course, I don't know. The coat check kind of works as a break room now if we keep the key card in there permanently. I don't want to do that. I'd like to eventually get a more valuable item in the coat check. I think for now, I am just going to take the couple... if nothing else, the break room does get us 2 keys. And, you know, at some point, we're going to want to draft beyond the, you know, foundation. Maybe. Getting to the back of the foundation, who knows what that's going to unlock? Who knows what that's going to unlock? But I'm going to give myself the resources here. The conservatory is nice, but we'll hold out on picking that up until I just want to get my resources stocked up right now. That's what I want to focus on. So let's do our math game. 12. 3 times 5 is 15, minus 13 is 2. Negative 12 plus 20 is 8, times 2 is 16. And then we have negative 1 squared, correct? Which makes it a positive 1. And then we multiply by 10, which gives us 10. And then we add 11. No, we didn't do that right. Because that would give us 21, but there's no 21. How does this work when you have a... We're starting with a negative 1, aren't we? Or are we? The square in the middle that has a blue color, what does that mean? Like, aren't we taking a negative 1 and squaring it? Which gives you positive 1. Positive 1. Except I must be doing that wrong by the rules of the billiard game, because that doesn't actually get us a valid number. We multiply by 10. I'm not supposed to be dividing by 10. That doesn't make any sense either. I must be screwing up the ordering here, because if we're adding 11, I wouldn't be squaring 11. That's way too big. I must be... Maybe I need it to be a negative 1? My math brain is having a tough time comprehending the idea of... Maybe it's... Maybe what you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to... What exactly are you supposed to do? I'm getting the sense that we're just supposed to ignore the squaring and make it a negative 1 and then multiply that by 10 to get negative 10. And then adding 11, which gets you 1. Like, that feels more like a solution or an allowed, a valid solution. But I also don't quite understand exactly how I got there. I'm sort of like assuming like, well, this feels right. Or I'm jumping to this feels right. I'm going to try the 1 and see if that's correct. It is, but I don't quite understand it. So I need to make a note to mull that one over to see if I can figure out why that works. Because there's a particularity there that I'm not quite grasping. Okay, let's keep drafting though for now. We got a silver key, which is okay. It's all right, but it's not crazy. Do I take a storeroom here for more resources, more keys, more gems, more coins, and then the hallway? We got to be careful here that we don't dead end ourselves, but we have redraws with gems. So I think I'm okay taking the storeroom because we can definitely redraw at the nook or even the hallway, the other door in the hallway, if needed. I think I'm okay dead ending here, but the den would be fine as well. It gets us another gem. It gets us a gem just like the storeroom, and it does get us the door into rank 3. Maybe I should just take the den, not worry about doubling the doors here between the hallway and the den. I don't know. I don't know for sure how I want to play this. Maybe I'll just take the den and not overthink it. Because it's just, the storeroom does get me a key as well. And I do like that. I like the fact that it gets me a key. Let me do that. I'm going to take the key. Coins as well. The coins could turn out to be good. Any other items? Not that I can see. So let's head back and draft the other door from the hallway. And we hope to get a, I don't know, a workshop? Or a spare master bedroom. I think I will take the spare master bedroom and probably just draft through it. The other option could be the commissary. Commissary would, or it has the likelihood of getting me quite a few gems, which would get me a lot of rerolls. But it would not get me a door into rank 3. And there's a chance that there's no gems with the commissary. It's a bit risky. So I'll take the spare master bedroom. I'm just a little wary about not getting the extra, as many steps as possible out of the spare master bedroom, but I'm not going to worry about that today because I'm more worried about just gathering resources getting as many resources as I can before heading to draft through the reading nook. So we'll keep heading over through here, see where that gets us. I kind of want a room with more doors, but maybe I'll settle for an observatory because that's probably a good amount of resources in there. But I'd love it if I had something that pointed me to the east wing. I don't want to be spending my gems to redraw in this position, but I probably would be willing to spend a gem to get an observatory because that has the likelihood of getting more gems back. It just kind of makes the doors a little bit awkward. But it's fine. It's fine if the draft is awkward. It's okay. Let's just get the resources that we end up with. 46 stars, okay, at 64 steps. That's kind of a weird little inverse setup there. Okay, this is Diamondus Major, right? Diamondus Major, good, perfect, great. Enclave is the key, awesome. Farmer's Apple, sale for when we do get a commissary. The only question is, do I want a Southern Cross? I might take the Southern Cross here, maybe, because we do want to make sure we get doors to go to the back of the foundation. But I have a lot of redraws now, and that may not be as big of a concern. I'm always just a little anxious about taking the Southern Cross, but I think I will take it here because even if you don't like the Southern Cross options that show up, and that's the problem, is I don't like, there's so many ones that I don't like. I don't necessarily want the archives. I don't necessarily want the weight room. But maybe I should be willing to take one of them if it means that I don't know. The Great Hall. Every time I'm here, every time I'm like, oh, should I take the Southern Cross? I say to myself, no. And maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe that's too... because I normally don't take it, I'm gonna go against my normal inclination and I will take it here. And we're just gonna experiment a bit and see how that feels. Simply because, let's find out. Let's see what happens. And we'll see what happens by opening this door. I did forget about the passageway. That is one argument in favor of the Southern Cross, is that we have a free passageway now. We have an axed passageway, which tends to not show up as much as I would think, given that it's common. I think we definitely, though, take either that or the drawing room. The drawing room gets us a gem back, but I think having the passageway, multiple ways that we could draft into the foundation. Now the thing is, if I get my druthers, I'd like to have the library coming out of the reading nook, and so I'd want the door from the library to point upwards to where this passageway would come out of. So the drawing room could actually be perfect here. The drawing room is actually fine, because then it points away from... I'm overthinking this decision too much. I probably should just take the passageway, but the drawing room gets us a gem back. So I think it's fine. We'll take that gem now, so I have as many redraws as possible when I go back. And I think I do go back now? Question mark? I'm gonna go back and draft through for no particular reason. Oh, I guess that's what I had thought of. I was like, oh, if I go back through, I get my sleeping mask proc. I think that's what I was telling myself. We also get a key, but this doesn't matter just yet. Oh, we get a magnifying glass. So our special order, we did do a special order before we ended day 40. We managed to get that done, but we didn't need it. All right, magnifying glass. Does the library point the direction we want it? It does. So I guess we take it. And that's where we can do our rerolls and see what we get. I did not check out a book from the library because I don't know what I would check. Again, I don't feel like checking any of the books, so I'll leave that blank. We'll just leave that blank for if and when we need to check out another book. Probably a new clue still has something in it that I haven't figured out yet. Yo, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is a throne room, but it costs 5 gems. Oh my God. I mean, I have to take it. It doesn't point up. It doesn't point up. But we still have a door from the other side of the throne room. We have to take this, right, guys? Like, this spends a whole bunch of my redraws, but we'll get gems back. We'll figure out ways to get gems back. We got to take the new room. It's a throne room. Holy crap. Look at that. It's there. It's there. And it is, in fact, a rare. Unintentional rhyme. I could have checked this beforehand, I think, right? And seen that it's a rare. But that's another reason to draft the library. Oh my God. The former seat of power of Arinda Ares before the current era and the rise of the Red Banner. This was the actual Arinda Ares throne room? Oh my God. I had been wondering to myself, a throne room. A throne room. What? Oh, the throne room has a king. It has a king. There's our second king room. The first one was the office, right? The office has the white king. The throne room, of course, has the black king. Sanctum key. Sanctum key. And a lot of unlit candles, but I'm not sure. I don't think that these are the fancy candle. Oh my God. They're not the fancy candle variety. And holy crap. This also has a rogue moon door lever? What? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So it's a much more difficult way to open room 46 if indeed this is a rare room, but it would cost you potentially less steps than going all the way down to the sanctum. These fancy knights or knight armor sets. Just seeing if there's any way to interact with them at all. We can't sit on the throne, correct? And there's nothing at the rear of the actual throne. There's the lever behind. The throne room. Crazy. It costs 5 gems though, my God. Wow. Have we found a new candidate for axing? I don't know. I don't know if this is worth axing, because once we've actually used the sanctum key, which I probably will do just to make sure I use it. But once we've actually used the sanctum key, is it really worthwhile coming back to this room? Spending 5 gems to open the Rogue Moon door? Debatable. Debatable, guys. What's not debatable though is I think I'm going to draft through this door. It's just a matter of... What is it a matter of? I don't know. I have 4 gems to redraw stuff, but I'd like to get more. I'd like to get more. A courtyard helps with that. That's what I want. I want a courtyard. Don't have a shovel yet, but I could get one from a courtyard. And I like having the multiple doors here. It has the upside of having, well, the only potential that the courtyard, you know, there is the potential of a security door that would be leading into rank 4. And so you could make the argument that take the parlor to get your guaranteed 3 gems, and you also get the same door that goes down the west wing, because you don't know for sure that that courtyard door is actually going to go above into rank 4. So that risk is worth thinking about. But at the same time, you have the drawing room door still to draft through. It's just that you would get more redraws if you take the parlor. You would get more guaranteed redraws. But the courtyard has the upside of also maybe having items or a trunk. I think though, specifically because we have the study, I will go for the additional gems. I think I want the additional gems here. And we have a silver key and we have the Southern Cross. So getting a whole bunch more doors from the drawing room and beyond is the doors are going to be easy to come by. Let's just give ourselves gems to make sure we can redraw out of situations that are not great. Let's do that. That seems like the right pick. Okay, so let's continue. There is a fireplace here. Yeah, there is a fireplace in the parlor for what it's worth. Any items? Coin purse? Not today. Okay, let's play. Let's get our logic hat on here. The gems are in the white box, maybe. The other 2 statements are both true. I think we can categorically say this is false, because if this were true, that would be a contradiction, or it would be invalid, because you would have 3 statements that are all true. Not allowed. This statement has to be false. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean... It doesn't mean that the other statements are both false, because that would be... it would mean that one of the 2 statements is false. Because if this one is false, you have to have at least one of these that's true in order for the rules of the parlor game to exist. All that we can say right now is that so we can say this one is false and one of the others is false. So the gems are not in the blue box. Okay. The gems are in the white box. The gems are not in the blue box. So we know that one of these has to be false. We know that this one is false for sure. Let's say that this one is true and this one is false. If this one is false, then the gems are in the blue box. But we said this one was true, which means the gems are in the white box. We have a contradiction, correct? So this one has to be false, and this one has to be true, which means the gems are not in the white box, and they're not in the blue box, which means they have to be in the black box. Dun da 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 da. Logic undefeated. Okay, cool. So we get rewarded with our gems, and we're not taking a ballroom because we're just not taking a ballroom for obvious reasons. I think we take a West Wing hall. The bedroom is interesting because it gets us steps from our sleeping mask, but I want to have one more room, especially because it's a corner room. I want to be able to draft that corner room and maybe take a conservatory if I'm feeling like it. But more realistically, I'd probably want a shot at more resources. If I get a room that gives me more resources, then I'm probably going to take that over a conservatory, but we'll see. Let's see. An armory or a code check. The armory could get me a mace, which would give me something to open chests with. Not that I have any at the moment to open, but you never know when a pool is going to show up. But that's random. We might not get a mace. or a morning star. We probably get a knight's shield. I feel like the knight's shield has been in there every single time. And on a day when you've got the Southern Cross, being able to shield yourself from a weight room or an archives could be clutch. At the same time, the code check giving you that key card is also pretty swanky. Pretty schwanky. This is a tricky one, but because I really would like to have a knight's shield if I do come across a red room that's problematic, but I think it's more important to get the key card, because if there's only one door that we manage to get our hands on that points us to this room behind the foundation, I want to make sure it's not like if I somehow drafted on both sides of this room and they end up being key card doors and I don't have a key card, I'm going to be so mad at myself. So let's make sure that every door potentially that could lead to that room is one that we can unlock. Let's just lock that in as a certainty. And then we can figure out what we check at the end of the day. So there we go. Okay. So let's head back. And there's only one place to draft from, right? Since we now cannot, even with our key card, we cannot ride the elevator up from the basement. And it does make me a little bit, as I was thinking about it here during my break, the wording on the foundation leaves a little bit to be desired, because it says that it doesn't reset every day. Well, it does not reset each day. Well, didn't it kind of just reset? We might not have reset its location. It's still in the same place in the house, but the elevator reset does not reset each day. Oh, there's some fine print though. Doesn't apply to the elevator. Huh. Now you tell me that important part. Now you tell me that. Okay. I actually might take a commissary here, because that could get us a lot more gems. It could. But we could also just take a passageway, and then we have as many doors. That's probably the smarter pick, because if the door... Well, no, if we draft from the passageway, though, if we draft up there, that's where we have to have a door that points up to the foundation. But with 7 redraws, we should be able to get that to happen. And then we still have the doors remaining from the passageway. Even if we had to draft like an elbow room that points up behind the foundation, we still have doors from the passageway that get us out into the rest of the house to continue our draft. So let's do that. Passageway. Now I can, if I want, I could draft the rooms around the passageway. Like I could draft over here if I wanted to like get a Geist bedroom, give myself even a few more rerolls. But I gotta think that with 7 rerolls, that's gonna be enough, right? Surely within the 3 options that we get offered from 7, actually it would be 8 different draws, because we get the one that when we first open the door, and then potentially 7 after that. There'd have to be at least one of those options that's gonna point upward to the foundation. We can't get that unlucky, right? Let's just draft this door. And sure enough, right off the bat, we get a den. And I think I'd take that over a cloister. I'm not going to spend 3 of my valuable gems in a spot where the cloister is only going to have one other door to draft out of. This is like a tailor-made situation for a den. Let's take it. Okay, and now we get to reset this thing, even though it's not supposed to reset. No, wait a second. Oh, shit. It doesn't reset. Yo, what? Okay, well, now I've been thrown for a little bit of a loop. Okay, so maybe the game wasn't lying? Maybe the game wasn't lying to me? Is it possible? Okay, let's think this through. So, this foundation, its elevator supposedly can still be operated. Before I do any further theorizing, maybe we should actually get into the foundation and just see what is going on. Can I actually ride the elevator? And if so, why did my security card not work the day before? Is that the only thing that needs to be reset? We'll draft from the den. I could go back to the passageway and draft the room next to the foundation. And part of me wants to do that right now to satiate my curiosity. But I will draft this door. Might as well draft this door while I'm here. If it's open, that is. And now we can just take a garage. That's actually a pretty good garage. Because we could still use some keys, I think. Yeah, that's a perfect garage. I think I'm willing to spend a gem there. This raises questions, though. I have questions, but I'll wait until we actually get into the foundation. I have to start figuring out my terminology here. Foundation number 1. The first foundation. As opposed to the doppelganger foundation. I don't think there's anything new to find in the garage. So, let's go. We got our keys. Let's go back. And we'll draft above the passageway. No locked doors yet. The rotunda. The rotunda is expensive, but it would mean that I'm not dealing with the archived floor plan. Do I spend 3 gems to make sure that's a reality? Do I feel that... The other thing about the rotunda is that it can rotate the rooms that you draft out of it. So it's a valuable room. It is a valuable room. But my gems are also valuable. What do I value more? The 3 additional rerolls that I could have, or being able to see all of my floor plans? This is why I don't like the Southern Cross, because it makes me have this kind of a choice more often than I'd like. But I'm also not sure just how much more legs I want this draft to have. I'm not sure if I want to keep drafting the rest of the house anyways, because like I'm so curious about just getting to the foundation and seeing what we can do. If there's any, like, how does anything we do in the house foundation change the outer room foundation, if at all? Because apparently this is a scenario that the devs have accounted for. They've accounted for the fact that there is permanently going to be, apparently, a permanent foundation out in the outer room, which feels very sad at the outset. But if it's intended, if this is a road that you can in fact travel down, then that's got to mean, I want it to have to mean, at least, I desire for it to mean that that elevator in the outer room has to be operable somehow. And that's what I was thinking. I had this thought that if we can get to the foundation elevator, we just need to reset them both. That somehow both elevators have been retracted into the upright position. But we're not able to interact with that switch. So this elevator here in the foundation, what state is it in, and does it even relate to the outer room foundation at all? I'm asking all these questions when really I should just pick a room. And I will go ahead and settle for the rotunda, because I just don't like... Maybe I'll still get an armory at some point that'll allow me to shield myself from an archives. I'll take the rotunda. I hate having to spend the gems, but I'll spend the gems in this case, and I'll immediately rotate this over to get me access to the foundation, because I want to see what is going on here. The elevator is down. Okay. And if I ride the elevator, I mean, presumably I can ride the elevator, right? Okay, the elevator works. And it takes us down. I mean, it has to take us down to the basement, right? And then my first sight there is looking over at the artwork. The artwork appears to be correct. This time, I have a key card, but the key card doesn't matter at this point, does it? Now, the thing is, I don't have sneakers, so I'm just wondering, do I spend the steps now? Do I spend the steps to actually go through the basement? Because I have a couple things I could do. I could go out through the basement, and we could go deal with the sanctum key. Or I could go back out to the outer room and see if anything has changed with that elevator out there. It doesn't really make sense that anything would have changed. It doesn't really make sense. But I also can't help wondering, why was I not able to access, why was I not able to get the elevator down on that day when yesterday when the paintings were bugged? Was it just a one-time bug? I have so many questions, and I think I might end up running out of steps prematurely, but my questions have to be answered. And in order to answer those questions, I have to actually go places. So let's go some places. It's just a matter of, is it cheaper to go out through this way? I'm already here, and I do also want to use this sanctum key. So if I don't end up drafting anything more today, if all I do from here on out is I just go use the sanctum key, and then I go check the foundation, and then I call it a day in the break room, that would be a decent end. That would be a decent enough draft in my book. So I'm not going to worry about quote unquote wasting steps here when we're only at 40 steps, and we might run out of them sooner than I would like on most days, but I have other pressing priorities here that are on my mind that need to be that I want to deal with. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna switch gears for a moment and get back into well, we're at the very least gonna use a sanctum key. It's just a question of which one. I think we should probably do Kurarika, because we got that clue that Kurarika from the dormitory. It sure seems like Kurarika is... This lever's already been pulled down because it's connected to the throne room. It sure seems like Kurarika is going to be... I'll bring my notes back up here. It sure seems like it's going to be academic. But the only question is, what type of travel does it have? But at the same time, I basically have two question marks when it comes to... I feel like this is less of a question mark. I think I can almost delete that. I'm going to leave it there, but I feel like it's a very, very tiny question mark. It's a teeny tiny question mark compared to the agricultural for Morajai. We know now, if the moats are not reused, if these are a one-time only, unlike the travel mode, which can get reused, then Nuance is not industrial and it's not academic. So that leaves us with academic, agricultural, and there's only 3 possibilities for this. And I feel pretty good about Kurarika being academic, which would make Morajai either agricultural or tribal. It's assuming academic is correct. We're either opening Kurarika or Morajai. I feel pretty good about 8 rays being the style of transportation, because boats and ships. But what about the weather? What about the weather? How many different types of weather do we have? There are only 7 types of weather. So it's possible that, yes, we had fog for both Orinda and Fen. But they're basically the same place. They're the same geographical location. So them having the same weather makes sense. And then so far, we haven't had weather repeat. There's been no repeat weather patterns. So if we were to say that Kurarika is snowy, because of the stamp. Then we just have windy and normal left for Morajai and nuance. I don't think it matters all that much. I think it's another decision that I'm probably overthinking here, because we got the dormitory that had Kararka University. That's the one we're gonna do. We're gonna do Kararka. And hopefully, we'll see how this works out, but maybe this will give us enough information to actually solve nuance. Like, there's a chance here where we're able to run the table and get all 3 of these remaining sigils solved right here and now. I'm gonna keep my hopes in check, because I could very well run into some roadblocks here in my thinking. But let's do what we know, or what we're pretty certain of. Our moat is academic, and that is the 3 vertical lines, because I know that one because I was trying to do that with the nuance for quite some time. Now it feels like this is actually Kararka. Then we need to do snowy weather, and that is, what is snow? The ray dotted with falling circles is used for colder realms in which snow is a common occurrence. So let's do that one. There we go. There's our snow. And now I'm just gonna basically guess that we're doing horseback travel. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be camels. I think we can rule that one out. And turtleback travel, aviation, those are, I think, nuance and, well, Vera and nuance respectively. We know for sure turtleback travel is Vera. It feels like a mountainous, snowy place is where you would use horses, right? Rough trails. 4 rays, but they're the ones that suggest a horse galloping. Let's try it. Let's just see if that works. Because it feels right. It's what I want to be the case. And then that just leaves the orange border, which is triangles. Doritos. Dorito puzzles from the witness, anyone? Do we have a winner chicken dinner? We do not. Horseback travel was the one that I was least certain about. So if it's not horseback travel, I suppose it's not going to be camels. I think that one we can rule out, but maybe it's a, we've used trains for so many others though, right? We've used trains for 3 other realms. Have we not? Trains have been used for Arinda, Araja, and Arch Ares. It's not going to be trains again, is it? I mean, it's possible that I'm getting snowy wrong. Let me just make sure I got the right moat. Academic, there it is. Academic is the 3 lines, and that's what we've got here. So if it's not horseback travel, we can just try. Maybe I'll look again quickly at where Kararka is on the map. If we go to our classroom, 4th grade. Kararka is over to the west of the western side of Moraven. Morajai's got a ship up here. Is there anything on this? Maybe I need to pull up my my bigger screenshot. Give me a second here. Okay, if we go to the Steam screenshot, the higher resolution one here, we see the ship for Morajai, but we don't see a train or a horse or anything like that for Kararka. But we definitely have a snowy stamp, don't we? We definitely have a snowy stamp. That's like, this has got to be it. This has got to be it, man. This has got to be the one. I've got it in my library stamp collection. Oh, I know. I don't have it here. I have not. Did I not update my? I thought I took an updated set of library screenshots. Apparently I didn't. It's got the boomerangs. It's Kararka. It's... I mean, is this not snowy? Am I completely misinterpreting what this is supposed to... Is this not snow? This sure looks like snow to me. I'm starting to doubt myself because that wasn't right. But, I mean, maybe there's another mode of transportation that we can just try. Like, maybe we can just do roads, streets, carriages, and just see if that works. We could try that. I just... it feels a little brute forcey is what I'm saying. Like, I just don't have... I'm basically using process of elimination to try to figure this one out. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Shit. That's the weather. Hold on. I clicked the wrong one. I clicked the wrong one. What I meant to do was this guy. Okay, so there is the roads, normal transportation, but didn't we use this for another... Did we use this for another realm? We did not. No, we did. We did use it for Fen. We did use that for Fen. Could be reused. Let's just try it. Let's go back to Doritos. It is little triangles, right? Instead of the slanted lines. Slanted lines were yellow. That's what we just did for Arch Aries. It's the orange Dorito triangles. This is not it, is it? It actually was. It actually was. Yo. Okay. We have a winner. That was, you know, ever so slightly of a brute force. Ever so slight. But I feel like it's an acceptable one. We're using the process of elimination here. Roads, carriages. Let me look at this one more time. Roads, streets, carriages. The 4 rays here look like crossroads on a map. It doesn't immediately come to mind that this is like snowy. I'm thinking of like snowy mountainous terrain. Maybe it's a mistake to think that it's mountainous terrain just because it's snowy, and that you could still very much have roads and streets and carriages, just like, you know, there's tons of cities and regular like flat places in the world that aren't on mountaintops that get tons of snow in the winter. So, okay, all right. There we go. Let's fill in the rest of our table here. Lock down everything for Kararka, because now we can say bold and orange. There it is. Okay. So now, can we now solve... If we go back to nuance... Well, hold on. Before we do that, one step at a time. One step at a time. There's another Morajai box, right? Of course there is. Okay. Of course there is. What do we have here? Is that a furnace? Because it's snowy, you gotta stay warm. Okay. And a snow-topped tree. Cool. Let's take screenshots. Screenshots. I thought at first it was like a submarine or a nautical mask or something. Big Daddy from BioShock. Mount Ephros. So there is a mount. There is a mountain, and it certainly looks like there's mountainous terrain when you look at the Moraven geography chart. There have been fewer and fewer opportunities, the further we travel up into the mountains, to attend to my correspondence, and I find myself regretting having brought so many books, as this is the first realm I have visited without porters. Here, gotta carry all your shit yourself. Oh, woe is me. Here, every person is expected to carry their own belongings, and if you can't, you throw away that which is expendable. It's looking like I'll be bringing back less souvenirs than I had planned. I never expected to appreciate the cold, but the frigid weather here is a welcome relief coming from the sweltering shores of Vera. P.S. I ended up forsaking all but one of my books. Rip books. Rip Herbert's books. Okay. Kararka comes after Vera. At some point here, maybe very soon, we'll be putting together the order. The ordering that is necessary for our geography puzzle. 8 realms. The university variation of the Morajai box. Far from the port towns of the lesser islands, the academies of Kararka were among the last strongholds where the puzzle box fad spread. Unlike other realms whose regional rule variations emerged organically over time, the students of Kararka designed orange tiles by committee, voting on students' submitted designs and picking the one they felt best represented the realm. When these tiles are pressed, if the majority of adjacent tiles share a color, then the pressed tile will change to that color. We have figured this out previously. We have figured that out before, and that confirms that previously found knowledge. Whoops. Clicking the wrong button here, trying to take a screenshot. There we go. All right, so let's see about that. Now, what did purple do again? Purple bubbles down, correct? And green swaps one side to the other. Okay, so purple bubbles down. Purple bubbles down. We need to get 2 oranges downward. So we could... We've got 2 oranges up in the corner here already, but we need 2 of them to be down here. So majority... Well, I was thinking, if an orange is surrounded by a majority of orange squares, you can turn it into orange. And then I realized, dude, it's already orange. So the only direction that orange tiles can go is not orange. Direction, in terms of color. They can only become other colors. They can't come, you can't turn anything back into orange. Question mark? I don't think you can on this box, at least. So we have 5 oranges, but presumably we're going to have to turn at least one of them into something else. Right now, they're all surrounded by majority, or at least a tie, orange versus something else. So I can't transform them in this configuration. I have to either do this. Actually, I think the only move that makes any sense is starting like this, right? Then you would, presumably, you would move the black square at least once so that you could then swap. So then you could then swap this way. And then you would go like this. And then you could swap here. And then you could go here. Maybe. Is that what we're doing? We're just doing a simple game of pass around the if I do, I need to get one. I need to get feel like I want to do something like this. Does this do what I want? Oh, it would be better actually for me to swap. I wish I had an undo button. I think I might want to undo that. I don't know. If I kind of want to do this, and then I could do, I kind of need the black square to be back on the bottom row. Can I do that? If I go like this, maybe I could. No, this would bring it up to the top row. Maybe that would be okay. Because if I do that, if I bring that up to the top row, then I can go... Is that what I want? No, this is gonna get me... Unless I go like this. Unless I go like this. And now I do this. Oh, wait, never mind. We got it. I was laser focused on the center column, and then I realized, wait a second, I'm one move away. It felt like that one wasn't going to be too complicated, because I had 5 oranges. I just needed to, and 2 of them were already in place. I just needed to do a little bit of finagling. I will pick up this allowance token because I can't resist. I'm too greedy. Even if it does, you know, mean that my allowance total is now 71. We live with it, guys. We'll somehow survive in a world with a different amount of allowance than what we just had. Nuance. Can I solve nuance now? Can I solve it now? Because now we know that it is no longer... Let me get back to my notes here. But it is no longer academic, and it's not industrial. Those were the 2 leading suspects that I had for the longest time. Those both turned out to be bunk. We now know that it has to be either agricultural or tribal. Agricultural or tribal? Let me read the description again of each of those. Agricultural. We were thinking that Morajai might be agricultural because that's why it's a shipping country, because it ships around all of its produce. But let me read the Realm and Rune book again here. Tribal, a primitive realm. Hunter and gatherers. Versus harvest and farming-based society and culture. Maybe they're tribal. Did we try that already? Because I see there's tribal up here. Did I try this before? Did I try tribal? Is it listed on my I don't know if I fully listed all the possibilities. I thought that I did add stuff that I had tried to this list from day 38. It looks like I did. So I don't think we actually tried tribal. It's just, for whatever reason, it's set to tribal moats. I'm just thinking about the logic. If nuance actually did help, whatchamacallit, trying to get my thoughts straight here. If they actually did help Fen Ares, and they sent them a dirigible, and they're a culture that trying to put this together logically. If they're based on aviation, dirigibles, and balloons, that's their method of travel. Does that go along with a society that is hunter-gatherers? I suppose it could. It's just that it's the primitive part that makes me think, like, are they the ones that are going to be inventing dirigibles? I thought they were primitive. But we only have 2 things to try, guys. There's only, well, but here's the problem. There's more than 2 things to try, because what do we do for their weather pattern? Their weather pattern is what? It's either windy or it's normal. I think that has to be this is either Morajai is normal and Nuance is windy, or vice versa. It might be brute forcey, but those are basically the combinations that we're down to. And I can't think through of any other information that we have that helps me, unless I need to go back one more time to the classroom and look again at these borders, because we were looking at these a couple days ago to try to figure out what were these clues at the top, or the around the sides of the Et sphere and the Ore sphere. Do they help me at all? I think they've helped me as much as they're going to. I think I have to, at this point, I've got to try what I can try. So we're going to start by... I should have left that at normal weather. I thought this was going to change the number of rays. So let's put this back to normal weather. And then let's try aviation. And then green is the slanted lines, correct? The slanted lines. Yep. Slanted lines. Tribal. Aviation, normal weather, slanted lines. No. So we try all of that except we change the mode. And we change it to agricultural, which is what? The next one. It's actually the next one in the list. Is Nuance actually agricultural with the dirigibles and everything? Okay. Now, the weather could still be the problem here, right? The weather could still be windy. This is actually, it actually boils down to 4 things that we're trying, which doesn't feel like that much of a brute force. If I'm still getting it wrong after that, then I really need to re-examine what I'm doing. Because at that point, I've made some assumptions that are not holding. Some part of my reasoning has gone very wrong. Okay. This is windy weather, correct? The big bent curved line. Okay. Is that possibly a combination that wins? It is not. So then the last thing that I have to try is going back to the tribal mode. No, what? Oh my god, I did not click. Apparently I did click where I clicked wherever I clicked, and apparently the game thought that was not changing the mode. No, I'm gonna change everything else on your list here. I just changed the weather, didn't I? Okay, all right. Let's go back to tribal. Now let's do windy again. And now we gotta put this back to green. Okay. All right. That doesn't work either. Okay, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I'm definitely missing something. I do not get it. Have I completely screwed up the mode of transportation, the fact that I'm doing 5 long, it's like with the sun, right? They're like the rays of the sun poking over the horizon. That's the 5 long rays, and that's supposed to be dirigibles. I feel like I've missed something huge here because that's supposed to be nuance. It's on the damn stamp. What? Unless it's not green? Unless it's not green? I apparently need to go back to the drawing board. 'Cause maybe a moat is being reused. That doesn't feel like that's in the spirit of the game here, but we've seen weather get reused. Sorry, mode of transportation get reused. Maybe nuance is trains, guys. Maybe nuance is trains. It's only trains or carriages. That's all you're allowed to have. Oh, except Vera did get a turtles exemption. Okay, all right. That's all I can take with the inner sanctum. We did get another sigil. We're up to 6 sigils, but I was hoping that last one would fall into place, or the last 2 would fall into place. I was hoping. That was the mistake I made. I started to get my hopes up. Dang it. Okay, we're switching gears. We're taking the win. Another little bit of progress, but tempered by a bit of disappointment at the same time. So now, with our remaining dwindling number of steps, we'll head back to outer foundation. That's what we have. We have inner foundation and outer foundation. We're gonna go to outer foundation, but there's not gonna be anything different there, right? I'm just gonna waste 4 more steps going somewhere that doesn't actually have anything new for me. But I have to see. Because if we can't, let's just, hold on. Let's just go there first, ask questions and ruminate over possibilities and mysteries later. Maybe one of the answers to my overall questions, maybe one of the big answers is going to be getting this tunnel cleared out. Getting that tunnel cleared out may prove to be more useful than I realize. But could it possibly be connected to the outer room in some way? Because if we go over here, I'm gonna wish. I'm gonna make a wish. Help me figure out my questions and mysteries regarding this outer foundation, which so far is screwing up all my plans and making my life miserable. But maybe... No, the elevator's still up there. And apparently this room is not going away. Is there ever a world where it goes away when the blessing of the monk goes away? Why would it go away though? The blessing of the monk says that, like, it doesn't say anything. It says you will have the opportunity to draft that room from the grounds the following day. But if the foundation is forever mucking up those plans to draft in the outer room, there must be some way to actually get this elevator into this spot. There must be some way. There must be some way to get to the rear of this, to get behind to this other lever that actually activates this foundation elevator. There must be a way. And maybe that's what is through, who knows? It could be some other place I haven't even thought of yet, but it could be through that tunnel where we now have to clear out crates by doing experiments. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. We need some steps. We're a little bit short on steps here, but we do have doors to draft from. So let's just head back through the entrance hall, because that's quicker than going back through the foundation. And is there anything else here that I am... We've got our coat check that we want to check something in eventually, but we're not going to go back there yet. And so far, I don't have anything that's super ridiculously valuable to put back in the coat check, other than maybe my security card, but even that, I'm not even sure now if my security key card gets me into the foundation, the inner foundation, when I want it to. I'm not sure. So many questions and uncertainties, guys. But I at least have the I can fall back on the thought that I can fall back on what? What can I fall back on? I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. I don't want to use my I don't want to use my southern. I don't want to use my silver key here because I want the rotunda. I want to be able to draft from the rotunda when I go to this room so I can spin the room. So this room might either want to be a dead end or a straight through room that goes to the east wing. Okay. I guess I'll settle for a great hall. That's kind of like a straight through room. Kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. And maybe we get a foyer at some point and all the doors unlock for me. But I can at least open the door at the end of the hallway and draft into the east wing. Let's do that. And I will do that now. No lockpick kit at the moment. So I won't attempt to open any of the other doors, but I will just use a regular key here. And that gets me an observatory. And a 47th star. Cool, let's do it. Nothing on my tables there. But then... Oh, Draxus the Dead, you say. Draxus the Dead plus Southern Cross. What? Name a more iconic duo. I think I will take it. Yeah, I'll take it. It's fine. There's some good dead ends that I wouldn't mind drafting. One of them showing up here, I'd be okay with. I'd also be okay with a showroom. 78 coins to spend in a showroom. I think I want that over a locksmith at this point. Yep. Let's take the showroom. Because maybe we just get an emerald necklace. No emerald necklace. So I guess I take an ornate compass. The silver spoon is also really worth thinking about here. But I can't get both of them. Until I get a couple more coins. Huh. It's not too far to come back to the showroom when I'm ready. We're going to be going back to draft through the rotunda. I just need to get my hands on a couple more coins. The fact that the rotunda is going to allow me to spin the rooms means I don't need the ornate compass for those. Maybe the smarter move here is to take the silver spoon first to get myself steps when I do get a kitchen. And then I can come back and get the ornate compass because I've already gotten the double steps and hopefully a couple more coins by that point. I think that's actually the smart play. Let's do the silver spoon first. And now I wish I wouldn't have thrown that one coin out in the fountain. But also, that was only one coin. Still wouldn't have been able to afford it all, because I don't have a coupon book. Okay. Interesting, man. This foundation situation has really got me perplexed. But I have to be able to just... Now that my fear has been put to rest, the fact that we know that it's not a... It's something that the devs know about, and they've decided to keep in the game. They could have just very easily coded it so that the Blessing of the Monk would say, yeah, you called it a day in the Foundation, I'm just going to ignore that. Could have done that. But they didn't. So there's got to be a saving grace here somewhere. Somehow, some way. All right, we take a workshop, I think. Not that I can craft anything yet, but we just get the additional room. Now, I could take the nursery for steps. Just to give myself steps. The nursery would not be a bad idea. Maybe I do that now that I'm down to 15 steps. It does spend a gem. Not ideal. If I did pick up a workshop, I really couldn't craft anything right away. Whatever item I get in the workshop, I'm not going to be able to craft something yet. So I would really just be getting that additional door over to the east wing, which isn't bad. I just hate going down to 2 gems. That breakpoint between 2 and 3 gems is an important one, but maybe it's less important than I think. It's really just the attic that we would be missing out on. I suppose maybe I'd take a vault if I could get one, but actually I don't know if I'd want to get... I would take an attic. I would definitely take an attic, and there's a chance the attic shows up when you've got Draxus the Dead. You have to be cognizant of that. So I think because of that, I will take the workshop. I think. We're at 15 steps. We've got a little ways still before we're going to be running out of steps. And if we run out of steps, it's no big deal. Let's go ahead and take the workshop. Let's take the workshop. Let's trust that we can still end up getting the stuff that we need. That's a sledgehammer that I see. Do I want to get that sledgehammer right this second? I don't have any trunks to open as far as I know, but we could come across some in the future. But I do have 5 keys if I really, really, really needed to open one right away. I'm just worried about 15 steps, man. Why don't we do this? We don't need the sledgehammer to draft through this room. We can do this draft here first. There's a commissary. I think that is exactly what I was hoping for, especially with a sale. This is a way to get to restock our gem portfolio, and it's even oriented the right way. Cool. Commissary it is. So, and I see a salt shaker up there. Now, I don't see gems, but I see a shovel and I see salt shaker. There might, let's go and, okay, I do, oh, interesting. Interesting. So, we did a special order for a magnifying glass, didn't we? And yet it's not here. I thought on a previous day we had special ordered like, it's been a while now, but I could have sworn that we had special ordered a metal detector, but then we had picked up a metal detector naturally before getting to the commissary, and then when we got to the commissary, oh no, this is what happened. We traded in our metal detector after we already had it. I saw there was a metal detector in the commissary after I had already picked one up. And then I went to the trading post to trade it in, thinking I could come back to buy the one in the commissary, but it didn't let me. Maybe I should rewatch that draft, but I don't remember what draft that was. It would be one with a trading post. And those have, we could narrow down which day that was. But let's buy gems before we do anything else. We definitely know we're buying gems. And I think we're also buying a salt shaker, and we're also buying a shovel. Now that takes us away from an ornate compass. It does move us a bit farther away from those. But I think that's fine. I don't need the keys at the moment. Those we will wait. Even though they are half off, but I'll wait on those because we don't need them yet. I might be regretting that later on. We can draft this room, maybe. Do I draft this room? Do I draft this room? Can I make anything in the workshop? I can't make anything with the shovel and the sledgehammer, right? It's the shovel and the metal detector that make a detector shovel. We'll just use a regular key here. We'll just use a regular key, and like there's more keys to buy at the commissary, and maybe I should just even buy them, because if we're getting more gold it's most likely going to be from either a vault or a treasure trove, probably. And in which case, we're just going to have so much more gold. We're just automatically going to get back to where we can buy an ornate compass. It's probably better just to buy the keys and not even worry about it. Probably. Hey, look at that! Look at that! That's an attic. I think we just take the attic, correct? As opposed to, what, a corridor? Am I really going to pass up an attic for a corridor? I still have a lot of doors that I can potentially draft from. And now that we have a workshop nearby, the attic could be a very nice source. Well, it is going to be a very nice source of items, one way or the other. But we do need to be cognizant of steps. That's the only little bugaboo here. We'll take the attic and we'll grab all the items, but we need the attic is not going to help us with steps. So we'll have to see what will help us with steps. Gems is good. We at least want to recoup our gems if at all possible. It looks like we're not going to get a full recoup on the gems, but we are going to get ourselves... There's that one additional coin that we threw in the fountain. There is a lockpick kit here. All right, so now we're even less incentivized to buy those keys. I might make a metal detector shovel, though. But we do have a treasure map, though. Where is this? Is this on our... Is that... Oh, no, it's the room next to the workshop. Okay, well, we got to check the treasure chest, then. But we still need steps. Even if we get a treasure chest, we're going to need steps somehow. We need to make that happen. But we have a lot of stuff now to potentially make contraptions with. Although I guess it's just a detector shovel, now that I think of it. Or a burning glass, but I don't really need a burning glass, do I? Unless I think there's something in the throne room that we could light up. It didn't seem like any of those candles were ones that you could light up, but maybe we should try? I probably don't have to make the decision right away. This is probably, like, a greater chance at keys and coins is not a good enough reason for me to jump to making a contraption that might just end up going to waste. Because I don't really need a whole bunch of extra keys now. What I do need is a way to get steps. Like a kitchen. I need a kitchen. And I might need to spend some of my gems on re-rolling for a kitchen. So do we draft from the workshop then? I think so. Let's just draft from the workshop, and that way we can pick up the sledgehammer. Because it's either we're going to the workshop to draft, or we're going to the foundation to draft. The foundation has more doors, and it does... The one thing about the foundation is it does have dig sites. And now that I think about it, dig sites could have turnips, which means I probably don't want to make a detector shovel, because that maybe makes turnips less likely. So I convinced myself. We're actually going to switch the rotunda here to go to the foundation. Turnips. Did I have the shovel with me when I went back outside to the observatory? I'm not sure. The observatory, what am I saying? The outer foundation. Because I might have missed out on some dig sites while I was down there. Turnips, please. Just one turnip, and I'm going to be feeling so much better about my situation. Coins are okay. But I really could use a turnip. Keys are okay, but I really could use a turnip. Let's try this door over here. I knew a freezer was probably going to show up at some point. That's not what I need, but a bedroom would get me steps. We would get 5 steps from a sleeping mask. And maybe I just take that. The clock tower theoretically could get me steps if there's a silver stopwatch. And we do already have 2 tomorrow rooms. I just hate that the bedroom doesn't face the right way. It's where I wish I had an ornate compass so I could get myself an additional door here. But I am... Do I want to use a redraw here? To try to get myself a kitchen? It's such a long shot to get a kitchen. Isn't it? Especially on a day when you've got Draxus the Dead. Maybe that was a reason not to take Draxus the Dead. Like, there's always a world here where I just take the freezer and I say, you know what, we're done. We're done. I'm just calling it quits. I don't even care about the rest of my day. Screw it. Screw it all. There is that world. But I always hate giving up on a draft too soon. I'm going to take the bedroom here and just give myself a little bit more leeway in the steps department. And look at that. Are you kidding me? Of all the items to potentially show up in a bedroom on a day when we have a salt shaker, a farmer's apple, and a silver spoon, is this the most delicious apple I've ever seen? 12-step apple. Let's go. 12-step apple. It sounds like you're going to Apples Anonymous. All right. There's nothing else in this. This is it for the bedroom. The bedroom did its job. It got us steps. Now I'm feeling good about things. So with 37, now that we're feeling better about steps, I mean, I'm not feeling like amazing about steps, but maybe I do make a detector shovel now so I can get coins and get myself a compass, an ornate compass. I don't know. Let's just draft this room from the foundation. And this is where I might use my silver key. I could still wait another room. I want to wait until I get into a spot where I'm opening up with a 4-way room that opens up into completely open territory. So I'll use my lockpick kit. My improved lockpick kit, no less. Vestibule, huh? Or do I take a laundry room? Laundry room, huh? Give myself so many redraws, but this would be spending my coins. It doesn't help me with steps. So it's not super exciting. I think I just settle for a vestibule, but that does spend 2 gems, which is a little sad. Am I supposed to take the laundry room? Because that does give me so many redraws. And yeah, I end up with, 5 coins, and I'm far away from getting an ornate compass. But if I have like 37 redraws, then I'm gonna be able to eventually get a vault or a treasure trove, right? I think this might be the right play. I'm gonna be like threading the needle to get out into the rest of the house, but with that many redraws, I think I should be able to do it. I think we do this. Let's go laundry room, actually. I don't want to end up with just 4 gems. Wait a second. Car keys. Oh, car keys. We do have a garage. All right, I'll take those. I'll take those. Maybe there's a battery, huh? We could make a whatchamacallit? A drill hammer. No, what is it called? What is it called? It's a shovel plus broken lever plus battery, right? What is that called again? I don't remember what it's called. It's the invention that makes it so you can get gems and dice from digging. But if we're getting all these gems from the swap here, I might not need that. We still have enough. The thing about this is we still have enough coins to come back and do a swap in the other direction if we somehow wanted to. So let's do the spin cycle. This feels like a good move. Now, 26 steps. The garage could also get us... The car keys could also get us a secret garden. That would be pretty OP. So it might be worth going back there right this moment. I think I will do that, actually. Because if we get a secret garden through the workshop, that's pretty legit. Might even be worth going back through the rest of the house. to pick up a few pieces of fruit, because that's like, the fruit on a day like today is just ridiculous. Well, I was gonna say any fruit that you get. Not any fruit. You want apples. As many apples as you can get. Apples all the way down. We have enough steps, though, to go to the garage and see what the trunk gives us. It is a battery and a compass. A regular old compass that I passed in the mailroom last time. Let's take it. That's great. Because now I do want a compass to point north. Beautiful. That worked out. A compass in the car trunk. I've never seen that before. There are still a whole bunch of locked doors in the Great Hall, but, well, we do have a lockpick kit now. And there is a metal detector to tell us, maybe I should have thought about that. No, but I think I did this in the right order. We don't have to make this decision at the moment. If we're going to go back to the showroom at some point, that's going to take us through the Great Hall. So let's not go there just yet. Let's go through the workshop and keep drafting. And we'll see. Well, now we don't have a secret garden, though. So we're not getting a whole bunch of fruit spread. But we could make an invention, maybe. Let's at least draft through the workshop and see what is offered to us. Like, I don't need a power hammer for anything, right? Or do I? Should we actually make the power hammer to see if maybe... Could the power hammer break some of those walls out in the outer foundation? Maybe I'd want to try that. So we'll hold off on making any invention yet. Although lockpick, I forgot, the lockpick kit combined with the metal detector makes the pick sound amplifier. Just makes doors more likely to open, right? Probably don't need that. I think I'd rather keep the metal detector and get more coins. I'm not sure. Let's draft, though. We still do have a special key, but I don't want to use that here. Just a lockpick kit's fine. And then a regular key. Okay, we take the pool. Because we just picked up a sledgehammer. This gets us more resources from our swim trunk, and now a pump room is in the pool if we somehow got a starfish aquarium at some point. I feel like my brain is winding down. We're on our second draft of the day, which almost never happens. But we're not, like, I've had longer recording sessions for a single draft, but it still feels like there's been so many not just decision points, but also all of this weirdness with the, you know, the outer foundation, man. It's thrown me for a loop. My brain doesn't... I think my brain is like, I can't take it anymore. All right, more rerolls. Would love to see some coins here. Okay, keys is fine. Keys are fine. We got so many rerolls. We just need to keep getting doors. Foyer. Okay. All those Great Hall doors are going to be open now. I'll take that. That's fine. Sure. Sure. Keep on going. 15 steps. Going to need some help in the steps department at some point. Pantry. The pantry has fruit in it, most likely. Hopefully it has an apple. That would be awesome. I could, however, do a secret passage to get a shop. And then there's a really good chance that we get a kitchen. That's probably the play, right? Other shops that we could get access to that I probably wouldn't be as interested in. But we could also get a starfish aquarium, counts as a shop. We could also get what? We have the sale, correct? So the kitchen, the commissary, the bookshop is not one we could draft from the secret passage, I don't think. What's the other? The locksmith. We wouldn't want a locksmith. We would just basically want the kitchen. And maybe that's good enough, right? We get the kitchen, and then out through the kitchen, we can probably use our silver key and have a whole bunch of doors to go to the rest of the house, hopefully. Let's do that. I think that's the right play. Secret passage for the win. Now the only I just realized the only small fly in the ointment with this plan is I have no coins at the moment. So we're gonna have to get our hands on some coins, but the kitchen will be available and we can buy at least a couple things because we do have a sale. Now I say the kitchen will be available. I did forget about the gift shop and I forgot about the armory, but that's why we have redraws. Because at least one, oh, I forgot about the casino as well. Because at least one of them, there's our gold. If we want gold. The casino has it, but I want a kitchen. I want to lock down that kitchen. I want to lock down a kitchen, guys. Hello? Whoever's running the secret passage here. Hear me out. Yo, is it really not going to give me a kitchen? I didn't draft a kitchen yet, right? Is a kitchen not available in the pool? There we go. All right. Just got a little bit unlucky. Kitchen. Gimme. And we do have enough coins to buy at least something from the kitchen. Assuming they don't give me like an apple for free. That never happens, right? That is never an option in the kitchen. Now, there is no kitty cat here. Whoever left it in the comments that there's supposed to be a kitty cat in the kitchen at some point. Spoilers. That has not materialized yet. I don't know if this cat comes and goes as it pleases. I don't know. Oh, the bananas only cost 1? Oh, interesting. So we get double bananas, right? We get a salt shaker and then we get double. So it's 8 steps for every 1 coin we spend versus a club sandwich that would be 16 times 2 is 32. It's actually the same ratio, isn't it? It's actually the same ratio. 8 steps per coin spent. I don't think I would do the bacon and eggs here. The morning room is not that valuable to me at this point. So I guess we just take the club sandwich and the banana. Spend all my coins. Spend them all. I think I did that math correctly. Funny that that works out to the exact same step per coin ratio. All right. 53 steps. We're feeling okay about the state of affairs. And this is a perfect spot to use a silver key. Show me those doors. Yo, it actually gave us a mechanarium, huh? When we've drafted 0 mechanical rooms. How does this happen, guys? And the other 2 rooms don't actually have 4 doors. I don't need a dining room anymore. I forgot to look at the main course, actually. But I don't need a dining room now. So I actually want to redraw here because I want 4 doors. But not the mechanarium, none of these are open. That's not what I want. I have received a nudge. I think we talked about this, though. I have received a nudge that apparently the mechanarium has more. Which I'm confused about because I thought for sure we had opened every single door in the mechanarium. So I'm not sure if that commenter was... It's possible that commenter was wrong. But apparently I have been nudged to check the mechanarium again at some point. But I'm not going to do it now because it's going to dead end our draft if we do it. Ooh, Cloister of Dauja. Okay, we got the gems to spend, and now maybe we can get some additional stars. We'll see how this goes. Let's take our Cloister. Okay, I also need to stop and think for a moment here. I'll check the main course in case that does come into play. Glazed salmon. Okay. We kind of want to draft an aquarium. What I was going to think about, though, is do I want to make some inventions now? I use the car keys to get a battery and a compass. The battery plus broken lever. We could make a power hammer, or we could make a jackhammer. That's what it's called. We could make either one of those, but I don't think I need either one of those. A detector shovel at this point would be good. I think I will actually make a detector shovel. Now that I have 53 steps, and I can get even more steps as I get coins, let's make that detector shovel a reality. I don't need to so desperately dig up turnips anymore. And I won't lock myself out of potentially... I mean, I could just make a power hammer now. I could just make it. Is there any downside to doing that? I don't think so. I don't think there's any other reason. We can make a detector shovel. And I think I, at the very least, do that because I can still dig and I still will detect things, right? This is not like a strict, or I think it is a strict upgrade, other than the fact that it makes turnips less likely, but we don't care about that anymore. I just don't really need a jackhammer when I have 22 gems. And a study. The question is, I think I just make the power hammer as well. Because why not? Because why not? I'm not going to make a jackhammer at this point, and this still lets me break open trunks. Let's do it. I guess if I wanted to play the golden slot machine at the casino, I've now missed out. Rip. Rip golden slot machine. I never play that anymore. There's not enough time in a draft to be wasting at the slot machines. There just ain't enough time. And we're already on draft number 2 of the day. Jesus Christ. How am I gonna make it through? Oh, what a day. What a day that it's been. Have some coins, please. Could I please get some goddamn coins? I'll take the gems. I'll take gems. I never turn down gems. Never would I ever. There's a security door here. And I guess we'll draft up into the corner. I guess. We have opened up the room 46 door. So I suppose I should... Maybe I should think about... Let's draft away... I don't know. If I am opening up the antechamber, how is it gonna... What doors would I open? The weight room is a pretty likely one. So I would want to have a door. I would want to be able to access the bottom door of the antechamber if I'm going to get into room 46 today and get my hands on a crown. So yeah, I don't know exactly what would make me choose one door over the other here. So I'll take this one. Ah, conference room. Okay. I'll take the conference room. That's fine. Is there any... I did forget about the fact that when we want to draft rooms with animals. I did momentarily forget about that, but I don't think I'm going to spend a redraw here just to... What are we aiming for with animals? The kennel? The bunk room? The dovecote should probably count. And what else? What else has animals in it? Have we drafted any rooms that have animals? The starfish aquarium, does that count? I could spend some rerolls here for an aquarium. If we get an office offered to us, though, the conference room is going to be pretty nice to just pick up the gold there. So I'll take the conference room, and it also lets us access the right-hand antechamber door if that comes into play. You never know. Anything here? Sometimes there's fruit. Looks like nothing. Okay. Let's see what this door holds. Conservatory. Conservatory, yes. And we get to fool around with rarities finally. And we get some more gems because it's a green room. Dig sites as well, probably. I think that's fine. I'd be okay with these others as well, but conservatory, it's in the corner. Let's take it. Conservatory, and then what is on our sheet? Okay. Some... I feel like most of our recent conservatories have been, like, it was such an exciting room at first, and it definitely helped us really zero in on a few rooms in particular that we were interested in. However, recently, it has felt more and more like the choices that we're offered with are just, I don't know, I'm not super excited about. The mail room, I have not been in love with this room, to be honest. Like, yeah, it counts as a tomorrow room. It buffs up our clock tower. And if we did have the experiment where we were drafting tomorrow rooms, it would be good. But I think I actually took that out of our custom experiment packet. I kind of want to make this a rare. I don't really like the mailroom, guys. It doesn't get us letters that are actually helpful. And it's the box that we get, the delivery that we get feels so meh most days. I think I make it a rare. Spare master bedroom is a great room. I don't think I would want that to be anything but commonplace. The East Wing Hall, there's 2 of them in our pool. And it's only accessible on the East Wing. It feels fine to leave it unusual. Maybe you could make it a standard so it matches the West Wing Hall. But then, what are we drowning out if we make it a standard? Master bedroom? Other green rooms? And East Wing only rooms that won't be as accessible? I feel like when you've got 2 East Wing halls in your pool, you just leave this unusual. You just leave it where it is. And yeah, okay. Cool. A less than exciting conservatory. That's all I'll say. Where are my coins at, guys? Where are my coins at? I need some coins. Ah, there we go. Excellent. So that's 4 coins for 4 more bananas at the very least. Maybe I just get those right now, but I don't need them yet. Let's go and draft some animals. We draft a bunk room below the cloister, and that gets us 2 more stars. And we're back up to 50. Oh, I saw the purple room and I thought, oh, there it is. There's a weight room. I did say we want a weight room for getting into the antechamber. I think we should take it. Because now I can go back to the kitchen and I can redo my steps. I get 8 steps per banana and we're back up to 50. We're good. The weight room it is, I think. Even if we only get the 1 door to draft out of. But it is a weight room that is then out of my pool. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yep, we take that over the servants' quarters. It makes sense. It just makes sense. And I will definitely grab those bananas now. Before I do anything else. Can I spam these? Can I spam these? Just give me all the bananas. Give them to me. Gimme, gimme, gimme. 50 steps after a weight room. Let's go. We did our workout and then we fueled up on carbs right afterward. Feels great, baby. Okay. No items in the weight room. I wouldn't expect there to be. What we do have, though, is a potential duct system. Duct-related system. I think I'd rather draft from the cloister, to be honest. Why did I go in the weight room, actually? Oh, to switch the antechamber lever. Had to go in there at least to do that. But now I want to see if I want to guarantee that I have a door into the antechamber first before I do anything else. So I guess I take a vestibule. Yes? Yestable? I think so. Vault is cool, but I don't want it yet. I don't want it right here and now. I will take a vestibule. And we will see if... slam in your face. The game does allow us in to room 46. Here it is, everyone. Yay! I think we're getting our crown back. I presume we're getting our crown back. There it is, baby. I love this crown. It's so good. It's just the best. Now when an archives pops up, give me that archives, baby, so I can slam it back into non-existence. Honestly, we're at a point. We've solved 6 sigils. I don't want to brute force this puzzle. I want to solve all the sigils so I have all the postcards, and then I can piece together what order these all go in. I was just thinking, we have 6 pieces so far. We might be able to like figure out what the remaining 2, if there's only 2 that we have to like Morajai and Nuance we need to figure out what order they go in. But I guess there still could be a lot of possibilities. There could be a lot of possibilities. So yeah, let's not do this puzzle. I don't have the brain power right now anyways to focus on it. We're not picking up a basement key. Dude, this music is so good. We did not end up with any animals drafted out of our cloister, but that's fine. Did we even have the chance? Did we have the opportunity? Let's draft this door. That's a pump room, huh? So we would have the pump room to go with, or at the very least, we could lower the water on the aquarium regardless of whether we get to draft it today. And I think I do that before I take a freezer. Yeah, the pump room is one room that is on our list of things to do. So let's draft it. And then we can draft the other room right here. There's our dovecote. Now we get offered the dovecote. We've already checked the dormitory on the previous day. That gave us our Kararka clue. So I don't need to go back there, do I? It would get me 15 more steps, but I'm doing fine on steps at this point. I think I just settle for the dovecote because it gets me a door that goes in the direction that I want. I think. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to think too deeply about this. Just take the dovecote, and we'll want to spend our redraws at some point here. Oh, there's dig sites in the dovecote. Yeah, I forgot about that. So that's a good reason to take it. Coins, good. I'd like to get a treasure trove. I would, hopefully, by the end of the day, it would be nice to get a treasure trove. We'll see if we can manage that. We could take the locker room just for the straight through room. Just for that reason alone. Or I take a wine cellar and I try to draft all the way around the house. I don't think I want to do that though. I think I want to give myself, this would give me essentially 3 dead ends that I could end the day with. It also, the locker room could be a very good source of coins now that I think of it. This is going to put all the keys in the conference room, and then we can do what we did before, where we basically opened up a whole bunch of locker room doors to give ourselves items and gems and coins. Let's do that. We avoid row, I got to remind myself which rows to avoid. But I think it was like row 2 had the Rogue Moon note, and row 5 has the Torn Math worksheet, and row 6 has the green memo. So just focus on rows 1, 3, and 4, and maybe I open all the doors on those ranks. Because we have so many keys. This might get us fruit as well. Sometimes there's fruit in these locker room doors, I think. Sometimes there's just straight up keys. We're avoiding row 2. I'm just going to open all these. There's an apple. Yes. Good. And running shoes to boot. I'll take those because I'm happy getting those as part of a moon pendant. Assuming we can afford a moon pendant eventually. Was there one more door there? No. Then we do row 4, which has 2 doors. And then we'll go back to the conference room and get all the keys. Cool. Definitely paying off here. The locker room maybe is a better room than I had realized. This late in the draft, or late in our drafting career, I should say. where we're at a point where I just had started to overlook the locker room. Like, oh man, we just don't need to open any of those doors anymore. We've been there, done that. But how many does this do? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 keys from the locker room. Okay. With an almost full house. Yeah. Okay. Back we go. But even though it's a good thing actually to sync our keys in. It's a key sync. It is a key sync. Let's go through the pump room. Assuming this door's open. And we can just throw all this water back in the reservoir, right? We don't have any reason to go to the safe house anymore, I don't think. I don't think we do. So let's just point everything to the reservoir. Or point the aquarium to the reservoir, I should say. So 3 is the aquarium, and that goes to pump 1. And we want to pump that into tank 1. But tank 1 is full right now, so we need tank 1 to go to the reservoir. So tank 1, we control... Okay, that's pointed to tank 1. And then this comes, I think, down to go away from the tank, right? And then we choose the reservoir. Cool. So we empty that out. And then the aquarium is going to go... Does it go directly? Yeah. We want this one to go up into pump 1. And now we choose the aquarium. Cool. We got this. Just got to wait for the water to do its thing. The pumps to do their thing. Pump it up. I saw a commercial the other day with Allen Iverson. I think it was like a gambling commercial or something. I don't know, but he actually, the dude had like, what was it? He had it was a cell phone that was also one of those old tennis shoes that had the little pump on the is it the tongue of the shoe? But you know, the old shoes where you'd like pump them up, right? You'd squeeze, I might be dating myself by referring to these shoes because they're like super ancient from the 90s. But yeah, it was like, I'm not describing it very well, but you basically, in order to get reception through this cell phone shoe, you would hit the pump button and that would pump up your reception. It's much funnier if you actually see the commercial. But thinking about pumps and the pump room got my mind in that state. So there you go. I'm sure your day has been enriched as a result of that. Oh, let's get an experiment going, guys. It's a perfect time for an experiment. I might just take the security room anyways because it does get me another door over to the corner. And yeah. But also, it's not really very thrilling at this point. I feel like we can do better, and we have rerolls that we want to spend. I think we do rerolls. Because I'd like to get, ideally, I'd like to get a few more coins, and I don't know. We don't need an ornate compass at this point, but I do want to buy a moon pendant before we end the day. And I'd like to get tomorrow rooms because a freezer could show up here. And so I'm thinking a little bit about when do we pick a freezer versus when do we pick a room that gets us gold to go back to buy stuff before we get a freezer. I'm going to redraw in any case. I don't like any of these options. Okay. Clock tower we could take as a tomorrow room, but we could also redraw again and get a gem back. Because I still want coins. But it's really that I want to get a treasure trove and keep progressing. Yes, we get a bunch of coins from the treasure trove, but I really, really, really want to continually accumulate notes from the treasure trove. So that's really what I'm re-rolling for here. Am I crazy? Did I not just remove the darkroom from my pool? Am I living in bizarre world here? Did I what? What? I don't have a chamber of mirrors, do I? And I don't think I added a second darkroom to my pool. Feel free to explain that one to me. Normally, I say don't tell me anything. If you have an explanation for what just happened, I would love to know. Because maybe I'm crazy and maybe my brain is completely drained of ability to think and absorb what's going on, but I have no idea why I just removed a dark room and it came right back. Because doesn't that take it out of the pool for the day? I'm so confused. I also know that I don't want any of these here, so I'm redrawing again. Bunk room at this point doesn't matter. So I redraw. I don't think I'm taking a solarium, but the solarium could make the treasure trove more likely. So maybe I do take it. The solarium would be all right if I'm trying to specifically hone in on a treasure trove. I'll do it. I'll take the solarium, just purely because it makes a treasure trove more likely. I suppose it would also make a starfish aquarium more likely. And now our starfish aquarium is drained. Okay, I did actually get a few more coins, so I could go buy a moon pendant now. And then if I picked a freezer at some point here, I'd feel all right in taking a freezer. Dude, did I never dig up my treasure map? Am I the biggest dingus in the world? I am. Because oh my God, we got to go back to the pool. I am such a dingus. There's a treasure chest in the pool that I completely forgot about. We have the steps to do this, right? And then maybe I'll even have the coins to buy everything that I want from the showroom. Okay, I am a dingus. There's also a trunk here. What the heck? There's just a trunk sitting here with more keys that I'm not going to use. Great. I am the biggest dingus in the world. The biggest dingus in the world. See, I'm out of brain power, guys. I can't think anymore. Simply no thinking. This is now a thinking optional video. I would think it would be down here somewhere. I'm hoping that the pool is something we can dig up. I thought for a moment, I was like, well, would they ever not let us dig up the pool? It's over here. Interesting. It just feels like a narrow spot, but apparently this is diggable. All right, let's go. Give it to me. Yes, yes, yes. Show me what you got. Gems. I was kind of hoping for coins, but it's 8 gems. That's good. Okay. Do it just buy... I think I do just buy the... I do have to be a little bit wary about steps. I do have to be a little bit wary because I do want to make it back to a coat check and a break room, which I can do through the house, right? I don't have to go like around outside. Oh, and I have running shoes as well. Okay, maybe it's not as big of a deal as I thought. So why don't we just go to the showroom right now? This might be... I may not get a treasure trove. And even if I do, I don't need to like... It's okay if I don't buy an ornate compass or something like that before we end the day. Let's go here now. Let's go and do the thing. Ah. The outer foundation. Outer foundation. What an interesting situation. Oh, I forgot we had this as well. It's not gonna matter. But I'm gonna say I opened the door that I could open. I did completely forget about that antechamber door. More gems, more better. Spam these doors. Spam them. Anything here? Oh, of course, it's just the doors that go to where you draft. But there's no items in these rooms ever. Okay, so showroom and moon pendant. Okay. We did get unlucky to start the day with the moon pendant picking up. No, that's right. Never mind. It did what it was supposed to do. I was thinking, I do wonder if the game could possibly, if you call it a day in the break room and you have a moon pendant, could you ever somehow get like duplicate key cards? Or would the game somehow, you know, pick the moon pendant picks the key card that also gets overwritten by the break room. You know what I'm trying to say. I think you know what I'm getting at here. Could it ever not work in your favor? Could it ever do something that you actually hate? There are still a lot of doors to open in this locker room. I'll do that now, because what if we do get a freezer and I want to get all the gold and gems that are in these doors? Do it. Even if I think the note that I care about is in this door here, so I don't have to open that door, but I can get the rest of this stuff. I'm not sure which door, row 5, is the rogue moon note. So I might open all these because I'm not going to... Otherwise, the keys are going to waste, so I might as well. It's this one. There it is. Okay. Math worksheet note. Second to last door. There's a lot of coins in here still. All right. Yeah, I want to open the rest of these doors. Do I? I think so. At most, let's just try to open this door first. Okay. I'll take a security room here just to make sure I get a room that goes in both directions, and then I can start to spend my rerolls. So I'll take security, and now I can spend one more key on one of these doors at least. Because at the most keys that I could possibly spend would be 3. Oh. Coin on the floor. There's stuff to do in security. Do I care about this? Okay, fine. Min-max. Min-max to the max. Estate inventory. There's a gem and a coin, I guess, in the locker room. I'm going to guess behind the last locked door in the locker room, which is going to stay locked because I am not going to bother opening that one. We're just going to set security level to high. I will do a special order, but I'm not going to do an experiment. It's too late to think about an experiment. Oh, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like, what if the, you know, the option to get crates out of the way comes up and you have a chance to get at least one crate out of the way in that tunnel? You might as well take that, right? So let's do it. I'm getting a little bit worn down and tired, but I still want to max out what I can today, especially because we got so little done on day 40. I can't say it was like a complete waste because we solved a sigil, but it still felt like it didn't reach its full potential. But how could I have known? How could I have known that the foundations were going to act the way that they were going to act? Show me crates. Yes. Okay. Spend 2 or more gems drafting a room. Yes. Okay. We've got an experiment. Let's see if we can make it happen. Let's see if we can make it happen. I don't know exactly what... This is going to make these last rerolls interesting a little bit because now I'm interested to draft... It's part of the room director here. I'm interested to draft a starfish aquarium. And if we get the opportunity, I will probably take it. I also, you know, it's also nice to end the day with a freezer, if we can help it. So a freezer is on our agenda. As well as whatever tomorrow rooms we could come across. But then 2 gem rooms are also very tantalizing, so... And we have so many redraws. Let's see. Let's see what we can come up with. None of these are interesting. So this is where we supposedly remove from today's pool. Except now I'm not so sure this crayon works the way that I think, so... But I'm going to use it. That stupid dark room sticking around. These I don't care about. So we redraw. There's a 2 gem room. And there's also a planetarium. Which would put us back up in the Inkwell territory. The ballroom tour. I want to remove crates from tunnels now. I kind of want to start removing crates from tunnels. We got to start making progress on that front, don't we? Obviously, I wouldn't step into the ballroom, but I would just take it just for the experiment trigger. Yes? Now, I would... No, never mind. I was thinking I would love it if the ballroom were above the security room so that I could walk through it to get to the last door, but then I would lose all these gems. I think I take it, though. I think I want to start doing... This feels like permanent progress that I'm super interested in. If we don't get a freezer, that's fine. We'll work our gems and our coins. We'll work those back up like we always do. Freezer is whatever, planetarium's whatever. Treasure trove is marginally more interesting than, or marginally, it's about as interesting as getting one of these 2 gem rooms because I want to get more notes. Let's take the ballroom. A crate has been removed from the tunnel. That is so cool. There's no items in here, I don't think. Certainly none that are worth 38 gems. So we're not stepping into that ballroom. There's a treasure trove. Okay, we get both. We get our cake, and we get to eat it too. I think we settle for the treasure trove here. We don't get to draft the very last room in the house, but I got what I wanted. Even if I didn't end up with a freezer. Treasure trove. Boom. Okay. And the true treasure of the trove is not in the house. None of this gold matters, but we'll pick it up because we have to. Actually, it does matter because I can go buy stuff from the showroom to hopefully have targets as... to hopefully be picked up by the moon pendant. Screenshot. And we have one of our remaining keys here to tell us that blue boxes marked by wavy lines contain false statements. Huh, did we know that already? That feels like a new one. Now, is this one with a wavy line? It's not, it's moon. What do we know so far? Let me bring up my treasure trove notes. Treasure trove notes. We know that green memos in white boxes are always lies. Green memos in blue boxes are always true. Sun boxes contain true memos, and that's what we have here, right? We have a sun box. So, blue boxes marked by flames contain false statements. Right? Blue boxes, and then we'll go marked by flames. Wavy line. How do I make an emoji that matches this? Like fire is the closest one, it feels like. It's kind of like fire, but it's not really at the same time. What about wind? I don't know. I don't know if any of those make sense, but we'll say wavy lines contain false memos. Okay, so there's a new bit of intelligence added, and now we're ready to wrap up, I think. So if there are no other rarity adjustments that I want to make to the conservatory, maybe I should take just a moment and think through, like, we have rooms like the walk-in closet that have been adjusted to commonplace. Are there any other of those rooms that I would want to adjust back to their previous setting? As I'm looking through my room directory here, nothing's coming to mind. So I think I'll stand pat on any other conservatory adjustments. But we definitely want to go spend the rest of our coins in the showroom. So let me just make sure that we have steps to get back. We have 21 steps. So I do need to be a little bit careful here on what we do to end the day. Oh, but I can buy some steps from the kitchen, right? The morning room is still there, or the bacon and eggs are still there. So I can get 22 steps from that, so I should actually be fine. So we go to the kitchen and we buy the food, and then we go to the coat check to check in our crown, and then we go to the break room to end the day, right? Another thing that we get to do, if I do that, is we're gonna go back through the throne room with the crown. I wonder if there's some special interaction there. I mean, that is super interesting to me, so let's do that. I don't think there's any other rooms that I want to go back to here. We don't need to do anything else. We've made whatever, I guess going back out to the outer foundation with the power hammer, we might do that because we have running shoes and we might be able to afford the steps. So first step, let's go to the kitchen. First, one step at a time. I don't think I'm not getting a freezer, so I don't need the coin or gem from the locker room. Let's go to the kitchen, which is through this door. The vestibule has been kind to us today. No vestibule trolling. But we have the one more meal here to buy. And we can still afford everything else in the showroom, so that's great. So now 38 steps, and we can go probably to the showroom first. That's basically it's gonna be a few extra steps, but it should still be more than enough to do what we want. I think we're gonna be fine. It's gonna be like 15 steps or something like that. Maybe less if the shoes are really good to us. And on top of everything, we might get to go outside and test whether a power hammer can actually do anything in the outer foundation. My guess is the answer is going to be no, but you have to try. Nothing else to do. No other things to buy with your gold, so you might as well buy both of these. If we get a chronograph to start the day, it's not the best time to have a chronograph, but it's still good. The rewind functionality can come in handy. So now we go through to the entrance hall. Great hall to the entrance hall. Only one way to go in some of these instances. Eventually, we want to end in a break room if we can help it. But now we're here at the entrance hall. So from here, it's basically only going to cost us like an extra step probably, because the running shoes are almost guaranteed to keep all our steps intact as we're outside. So this is basically a freebie. Nada. As expected. The power hammer is for breaking brick walls, not piles of dirt and stone. Okay. since we're getting these freebies with the tennis shoes, why not check the tunnel? I know we only removed one crate, but we might be able to at least see. Who knows? Maybe there was something stashed under that one single crate. You never know. It's starting to feel though like that is going to be one of the major objectives as we press forward. Getting all these crates out of the way. Was it this one up here? There are actually a lot of crates, aren't there? Oh my god. There are so many crates here. I'm hoping it's not going to make us remove all... There's like 20 or 30 crates in here. Good lord. Hopefully it'll like just selectively remove crates to make a path through. But we'll see how it goes. Foreman's log. I'm not going to recheck that right now. Okay. All right. Freebie steps. Love getting freebies. And what an interesting day this has been. It's been 2 days in one, which is a rarity here on Mount Holly. Probably not for most players. Probably most players could knock out 2 or 3 drafts in one sitting, no problem. But that's not me, guys. But I also like to think that we get quite a bit of value out of each of our drafts, and that it's worthwhile, the extra time that we put in. Now, the throne room. The throne room. It does not appear to have a special interaction. Dang it. But it does allow you... I think I get it now. The Reclaim the Crown is... That's why it says Reclaim the Crown. It opens the door to room 46 so that you can reclaim the crown that's in room 46. That's what it's doing. Duh. We should still check just in case there's like breakable walls with the power hammer. You never know. Let's just look. Let's look. And who knows? Maybe I should be trying to light up some of these candles. But they do seem a little out of reach, don't they? And they don't seem very special. We've seen plenty of candles like this around the estate that cannot be lit. So I suspect that holds true here as well. I can't break the... you never know now with the pottery that we broke in the entrance hall. What if there is a secret 4th microchip hidden within the helmet of one of these knights, and you need the power hammer specifically to open that? Break open the armor. Not seeing any cracks in the wall, guys. Not seeing any interact prompts that are showing up on my screen, so I think we are running out of things to check on here. All right. There's a lot to take in though when the first time that you're seeing a room. Interestingly, the Orinda sigil is up here. The Orinda sigil is present. I just wish the Nuance sigil were also present. I don't know why it would be, but I want to see the Nuance sigil, guys. Why can't there just be a room that has the Nuance sigil on its own? Why can't it be the case? All right, but that is where I think we've taken care of all the duties that we can, so that is where we will wrap up this installment of Blueprints. We're going to check in our crown, and then we're going to head over to the break room. And thank you all, as always, for hanging out with me to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, please consider doing the YouTube thing and hitting those buttons down below. It's so much appreciated. And I am still not totally sure how to feel about what we've done. The fact that we have permanently, so it seems, placed a foundation in the outer room that does not go away. It's just like it says on there, it doesn't reset, except the elevator is inaccessible. So what the junk? What's going on with that, man? I'm hoping that that is going to become apparent, and it's going to make sense at some point. We've upped our allowance a bit more. We're getting our stars back up into Inkwell territory. Things are happening, and we've been solving sigils, right? We have 6 sigils now, and I feel like we're close to locking in the other 2, man. We just need whatever that breakthrough on nuance is, whatever realization I'm going to make there. And we have an 8th letter, apparently. That's got to be out there somewhere, man. It feels like we're so close. We had a big breakthrough last time, and we're close to getting even more breakthroughs. But we will call it a day here in the break room, since apparently it doesn't matter now where, even with our 2 days left or 3 days left on Blessing of the Monk, whatever it is, it doesn't matter where we call it a day in terms of the outer room, because the foundation has taken up permanent residence there. What the heck? Yo, that's an architect's castle. Because we drafted the throne room, it's actually a castle. We also have a puzzle to solve. Well, 6 add 6, Tor Lor Et. The heck does that mean? Does that apply to the throne room somehow? My day, what day was this, guys? I think it was day 41, but I can't actually tell from this screen because our castle is too big. Your day and your blueprints are in another castle. We did get a new room and almost got a completely filled out estate on this day in any case. 2 days for the price of 1. Looking forward to seeing what day 42 has in store, and hopefully one day figuring out how to freaking activate an elevator in the outer foundation. Maybe we got to get a bunch of crates out of the tunnel. Something's got to happen, guys. Something's got to happen eventually. And maybe it will on day 42. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.